welcome to Pixel Scandal. You're watching a Paper Scandal side quest. Today we are going to play The Forest Hem Picnic, run by the author Cecil Howe. Any winning Cecil Howe. Now before we get to that, let me introduce, we've got some players. Hi, I'm Kurt, and we don't know what we're playing yet. We're going to find that out as we go. But Gigett, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to play a very cute animal thing.
Woo.
Person. Yes.
I think
very
I'm going to
excited.
be a ghost.
Super exciting.
Kurt's lying. We know exactly what we're playing. We've just never played it.
We've never played it or pronounced it properly on this stream in the 37 times we referred to it.
How are you doing today, Endeline?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm excited.
All right. How you feeling today, Orestes? Orestes? I got to get it right one of these days. I've only known
Why
it for
start
like
now?
years.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Good.
Well,
So
those are our players. And as usual, I'm going to pass it to you, Cecil. Cecil, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. It's early. The babies are sick. I'm in my daughter's room. Toys and stuff,
Okay.
I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to play some Forest Sim. I haven't played since Winter Fantasy, so it's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited as well. Well, it's your show now, so take it away.
Sweet. Well, we're going to be playing the Forest Sim and Picnic, and I don't go on stream very often, so I have bad streaming habits like looking around and stuff, so just preemptively apologize for that. But the Forest Sim and Picnic, it's a tabletop adventure game. It's loosely based on the rules from Shadow the Demon Lord, so it operates pretty similarly, but it's far cry different. It's the opposite end of the blood and skeletons scale. And we're going to start at the very beginning, which is making characters, because that's the most fun thing to some people who don't like the Forest Sim and Picnic, but like the character creation. And the way that works is you can be... I guess I should explain the world real quick. It's a huge endless forest, right? From one corner of the map to the other side of the map, it's all just dense woods. There's rivers and creeks, and there's rumors that there might be like an ocean somewhere, but no one's really sure. And in the forest, there are three main types of forest dwellers. There's the ghosts, which are basically like they're ghosts, which are like mistless forms, and they're stuffed into costumes. So they're they're like walking sad pinatas. They kind of keep to themselves. They're attuned with magic in the world, so they're a little aloof and strange. But people get along with them. They're not like freaked out by their strange costumes and stuff. There's the animal folk, which are kind of like the most populous forest dweller. They're exactly what they sound like. They're animals pretending to be people. They wear clothes and they speak, and everything they know about like society, they learned from reading books that people left behind. And then there's the people. So people used to be the most numerous forest dweller, but they all disappeared. Animal folk kind of walked out of the woods and they put on their clothes and read their books. And then the stork sort of started accidentally bringing people back. So there's very few people in the forest now, but they're slowly coming back. And you're more like hardy adventurer type. Some of them are looking to find a way out of the woods. Some of them just like getting lost in the woods. But those are who we'll be playing today, or y'all will be playing, not me. I'm just lording over it all.
Awesome.
So yeah, you guys have the character creation booklets?
We do.
Which, starting at the beginning, it kind of just explains what I just explained, and then gets like right into it. So who's playing what?
All right. Well, I'm going to transition to our other thing so I can show this gorgeous art that's in these little booklets. Because, oh my gosh, this ghost, I want to be this sad pumpkin ghost. And people aren't going to be able to read it on stream. But, that little book in his hand says diary. But like DIE-ARE. Actually, can I zoom in on it? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, the art in this book, it's kind of a it's a like a collaborative project. I'm painting all of the backgrounds and like items and stuff like that. But the characters, the like foreground action, they're illustrations by Sam Mameli, who's in the chat. Actually, it's Skullboy. He's the one
cool.
talking about how funny he is, and he's the one who painted that, or he illustrated that ghost.
That's awesome.
And the other artist is Casey Cookson, who is great. And yeah, so
Oh yeah, all of them are great. Like the animal folk. There's this fox is so cool. This fox is cool.
Oh, cool. Well, who wants to kind of go first on character gen?
And probably one of my favorite things is the birthing song.
Well, I think we've
Birthing
established
Songs
that
written by
Kurt
Gigett
wants to be a
Storia.
ghost.
Yeah.
He wrote all this.
Yeah, Kurt most definitely is going to be a ghost. Do we want to go through your character gen first so we can kind of see how this works?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be a ghost. Let's make a ghost.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is you guys all have the character sheets. They're form fillable, so you should be easy. The first thing it does is you got to get your fair token, which is it's a coin flip. You mark the result on your character sheet where it says fair token, either heads or tails.
Okay.
And,
So
that's kind of something everybody can do at once if you want.
yeah. Well, let's do. So we're gonna do this in roll 20 then, yeah. That, or I could grab a coin. I don't know if I have a coin nearby. So, or not roll 20. Roll for your party.
Sure.
I hope you guys can't hear my dog whining at me because I've put him in a different room. I'm very upset. All right. So I'm red, so that way if my dice pop up, they're red. All right, here we go. So even was... Okay, so I'm even. So that was heads?
So that's heads, yep.
Okay. So my fair token... Where do you put your fair token? Oh, here it is. Heads.
Yep, under health there.
Sweet.
Alright, so I will be clear. No, I will be.
I can just delete that one. Delete, select.
So I will be tails.
Cool. And your fair token, it's used for a few things during character creation, but it's also used when you test your luck, which is something you can kind of do to save a failed roll.
Sorry.
All right, so mine. I guess high would be head, yeah.
That would be heads. Yep.
So who's gonna sing the birthing day song?
You are.
No, I'm not gonna sing.
Yeah, how come you haven't already done it?
It's so
'Cause
good.
He doesn't
It
have
is-
a jug.
It is written to be played on a bottle, some clanky pans, and a large pot, which I love. But you have to smash a bottle, which means I would need to have bottles that I can smash and a place to smash them.
Yeah, especially if there's like a refrain and people decide to join in and make it a row, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
need a lot of smash bottles.
Yeah, there's a lot of
smash
smashing.
bottles. It's so awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of songs like peppered throughout the book, written by Gabe Soria, who he's a novelist and a graphic novel writer. He's a good friend of mine. He works with Sam and I on. He made Sword and Backpack, and so the three of us do Sword and Backpack stuff together, and it's
Nice.
good stuff. Good people.
Awesome.
So now that I've got my fair token, so then I just put these numbers from the ghost book in my stats.
Yep. So those are your stats. You just fill them in. You'll have to roll for your wealth, which is how rich or super poor you are. And then you have a level 0 signature, which is like a special cool move that you can use. And for ghosts, ghosts have a filling inside of them to keep them from floating off in their costumes.
Oh my god.
It
that's
could
amazing.
be like whiskey or honey, bees. There's chickens. And
So excited.
your level 0 special move is that you can sort of open up. You take a wound, and then you can use your filling for something. And when you make your ghost, it'll tell you what your filling kind of does, like what's actionable about it.
Ethereal candy. You said pinata.
Yes, you can be filled with candy.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so
If you're not filled with bees, you're re-rolling until you get it.
Gordon will be so. Nightson will be so disappointed in you.
all right. So my health is 4. Oh, I keep clicking on the background and it goes all blue. All right. My luck is 2. My
So we
defense
should
is
each be rolling a d6 to get our health too.
Wealth.
wealth.
Wealth, sorry.
Yeah, roll for wealth.
Well, so the forest dweller backgrounds or whatever, they're not There's nothing balanced about this. This is a cartoon game, basically. And so the character creation procedures are all different. You don't all have the same tables you'll be rolling on. And,
okay.
And like animal folk, they're predisposed to having more wealth because they're obsessed with like they're pretending to be people, so they're like obsessed with like commerce and stuff. So they have a little bit more money, things like that.
So then, should we figure out who's playing what first?
Yeah, I mean, we can do. Everybody can roll their characters all at once if they want. It's a lot of fun to do it that way, backing and forthing on who's got what. And
Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds more fun. So, what are you guys playing?
Kurt's going
Because
ghost.
there's gonna be one double.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone's gonna dupe up.
I want to be an animal.
Animal's probably the best option for doubling because they seem pretty different.
And then, Endo, what are you doing?
Oh, whoops. I left the wrong names up here. Let me fix that.
This is
I know Gigett is going to play a forest folk. So what are you going to play, Aristes?
I'll either go. I was thinking human.
Okay.
A people. I was thinking I'd be a people.
All right.
Okay.
So it's up to you, Endo. What do you want to be?
Let's let the dice decide.
Oh, thank you, whoever followed or subbed. I didn't see what announcement it was. I heard the noise.
I'm going to play a forest folk.
Yay!
Cool. All right. Then I am a people. You guys are in so much trouble now. I have come to reclaim my land from these filthy animals and spoopy ghosts.
Cool.
So yeah, now that you all know what kind of you can sort of go through your booklet and start filling things out. Ask me questions if you have them. The first thing is to, just like Kirk did, is mark down those stats and roll for your wealth. Mark your signature, and then you'll go through. So looking at like ghosts, it starts with we got to figure out what kind of cap his ghost has on.
Oh yeah.
It's a D12 for that, and then costumes and fillings. And some of the tables have coin flipping and then picking a table. Some of them are just straight like D12 rolls or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah,
the cap is a
basically
D12. So, a 12.
Ooh.
A tall blue dunce cap. It has been worn on many different heads. I can't select the text.
So signatures. All right.
I don't know why you can't select the text. I think it's a problem on my end that there's a checkbox hidden somewhere on Inscribus that I'm not.
I think the image might be above the text box for the frame.
That'll do it. Yeah.
It's the little frame image. Okay, so I have a tall blue dunce cap. Where do I put that kind of stuff? Just in description.
Yeah, normally people just kind of paraphrase that stuff in description or memorize it. There are some background things that you'll roll that affect your character sheet. They'll add stuff to your characteristics or take stuff away.
Okay.
1d6 3.
I feel like I need to show some of the art from the other booklets too, for people on stream, so that they know what these animal folk look like.
Oh yeah, you've got to show the badger.
Look at this doofus right here.
You gotta look at the badger.
Look at this badger with pistols. He is such a goofball.
Sam.
I love him so much.
Okay, so dice rolling time.
What do the people look like? I think the people's the mail carrier, isn't it? Yeah, it's the mail guy.
That's that little dude's name is Whitaker. When I was running the Kickstarter, I had people make up a bunch of random characters, and I picked a handful of like the best ones, and then I passed those over to the artists. So those Kickstarter backers characters that they made are in the book.
Awesome.
Huh.
Yeah.
How do you...
All right. So now I need costume and filling. A bunch of D6 rolls. Okay.
I've got all my main characteristics done, and it's just a D6 for fair token, right?
Yeah,
For your fair
even or
token?
odd.
Yeah.
It's odd or even.
So even is heads.
3.
Okay, so who is what color dice?
I'm red.
I am clear.
I am blue.
The kind of gray one right there.
Okay, then
How do I change the color of my dice?
I'm gonna go with.
Oh,
turquoise.
there it is.
I'm gonna go with turquoise.
Ooh.
All right, so I gotta flip a coin. So odd or even on which half of the animal folk to go off of, right?
Yep. So you got 2 tables, and you got it's so simple.
All right.
Yeah. Normally when I play this, I like give people the character creation, and then I go off and like get coffee and stuff, and come back, and then they're done.
All right.
Because that's how Shadow of the Demon Lord works. It just you sit down, you make a character, you start playing. There's not meant to be like a session 0 or anything like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do we figure out our health pool?
It should just tell you.
Yeah, I think we just start with 4 as aminals.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm wearing stolen scarecrow clothes, and it makes me wimpy. My resolve is less.
Okay, so I rolled on the animal folk list. I got a 1, so I am a crane.
Oh, cool. And you can't fly. Sorry.
Oh.
Haha, I can fly.
Hey, Kurt, if I send you some more art from this, like just through the Discord, can you show it? Is that something you want to do?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. This is just like me in real life, you guys. I'm just literally rolling myself.
I am filled with assorted hard candies.
Nice.
Yeah,
I knew
assorted
it.
hard candies.
I called it.
Like those really hard ones that stick together in a big ball at like
Yeah.
Christmas time, like the hard Christmas candies.
Yeah, that's your
Oh, they
grandma's.
remove wounds. I'm a healer.
I am a badger.
Nice.
Yes. You can have
Honey
all the
badger.
pistols.
You're a honey
One is
badger. Nice.
I'm filled with hard candies.
Where do I put that? I guess I just know that I am a badger.
I'm just right.
Description.
I wrote it in description. Yeah.
I am a badger.
3.
Pork or all right. So Quark.
So I can take a wound to heal a wound from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Pull a candy out of my body.
Yep.
Okay. Background tables.
You are quite imposing.
Yep, sounds about right.
You're a commanding crane.
Yes.
All right, you're the tactician.
Oh,
I
my head
cannot
is
stand the rain. Okay.
I get an heirloom. What's my heirloom? Come on, be something good. 10. A toy pop gun. All right.
All right.
Add 1 to resolve.
And my second one is you have trouble making eye contact, a sign of trouble.
I have a globe of the forest hymn on my face. That's my face. Is a free
Your
spinning
head.
globe.
Your head is a globe. That's awesome.
Yes. My head is a globe. I am a scarecrow, and I'm full of candy. This is the
All
best
right,
game.
pick your subjects. They are not.
All right. Oh shoot! Actually, I did that wrong. I was supposed to do heads or tails first, huh? I was supposed to do heads or tails. So number 2 was my thing. So let's see what I got for heads or tails. Heads. Okay, I'm still a globe of the forest hymn.
Awesome.
I am a thievy badger. You have a penchant for guessing passwords and secret knocks. You are always welcome among thieves. Yes, I am.
Nice.
I am always welcome. Thieves love me. I'm very popular.
Okay.
Everyone says so.
I will take good grades. Where do I put that? All right.
Let's see, heads or tails?
Pick 3 and add them to your character.
This needs to be how we do character creation forever now.
I know, for every game.
Just
this is so much fun.
let the fate decide.
Yeah.
So your grades
Oh my
on
God.
your character sheet, you have that big sort of kind of scary list of of things, and those are basically it's analogous to like skills in other games, except for they're broad intentionally. They're meant to be interpretable and weird. So good grades give you positive numbers, and those give you gifts when you do challenge rolls. Basically, you add up all your positive numbers up to 4, and you roll an additional d6 of that amount, and you take the highest one and add it to your d20.
Okay.
And bad grades in your subjects give you gags, which take away from that sort of pool of d6s. And if you roll all gags, then you take the highest result and you subtract that from your D20 roll.
Okay.
So your subjects are things you're sort of like you've learned to be good at. Yeah.
So you take 3 from each. So you'll have 3 plus 1s and 3 minus 1s?
Yep.
Okay. And what is funambulist?
Funambulism is acrobatics. Specifically,
Oh, okay.
like it's an old word, and it specifically means like acrobatics to entertain. But in the interest of this game, it's just like doing cool flips and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. And what is colonel?
Colonel is like your ability to lead.
Okay. Is anybody going to be a leader? Okay.
Not according to my dice yet.
I am a leader. I am the colonel.
All right.
My little badger friend has problems.
So I was actually wrong. I was supposed to use the same coin flip from my filling, which would make it a tails. So my head is a sack full of hay stabbed with many daggers.
Oh, I don't have any daggers. I would
That's
love to put
awesome.
daggers in your head.
You could just borrow one from my head.
So Endo, what's your anecdote?
My anecdote is, well, I don't want to share it. Do I have to share it?
I mean, you don't have to. There are always like
It's
fun
going to come
things.
out naturally in the game, Gidget. But it's going to be fun.
Okay.
What is sortilege?
But I
Sortilege is
can
magic.
tell you,
Math.
I have very poor hygiene.
Oh, good.
Yeah, sortilege is magic, and ledger, that would be keeping books and numbers and things like that.
I have a feeling mine's not going to come up in game. I buried my inheritance beneath a tree in the woods somewhere and forgot where it is. If I ever find it, I get +5 to my wealth. That's awesome. All right, let's determine this appearance, guys.
Good luck. Don't get sneaky like me.
All right.
All right.
I do not care for keeping clean. My clothes are constantly covered in dirt. My face is smudged, and I have a bit of an odor that people politely ignore.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, it's very polite of you guys.
I tend to wear formal clothes made of fine materials and are usually clean and well kept. I wear a powdered wig. I'm completely the opposite of you.
Wow. That does sound like it like when I'm picturing you with a crane with a powdered wig and
Right?
nice
With
clothes,
like
it actually
like a
works.
vest, right? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
pocket
it totally
watch.
works.
Yeah.
So I'm
can
a
see it.
human, but my clothes are plain and clean, and I pay no attention to how others dress. But I do despise large crowds, and I avoid them at all costs.
All right, let's see how old
Awesome.
I am.
All right, I gotta pick my grades. Oh, so I have my gift is a fragile plate with a mouse family on it. But I don't care because I got lots of gifts, so it's all good.
Nice.
My capacity is 9. Ooh.
Yep,
Alright,
it's a Diablo-style inventory.
Yeah,
So rather than tracking like weights and stuff, everything is either it doesn't count against you at all. So like ghosts, and the ghosts when they're doing character creation, they get birthday gifts, and those don't really count against their weight limit. But yeah, you have a size 1 item, which takes up 1 slot, a size 2, which takes up 2, and then you have large items, which you can have 1 of. So like if you've got a large marching, bass drum, or a big sousaphone, you can carry that, and it doesn't count against your normal inventory. You can only just carry 1.
Okay.
Okay,
So this is like knave. I can carry 9 spell books.
nice. So the next thing for an animal is to roll age. I got a 6. So at over 30 years old, you've picked out a place to retire, but you're curious if a better place might be around the next bend in the woods. So I'm an old crane.
Yeah, animal folk, they age much faster than people, and so 30 years old is like way old.
It's Grandma Crane now.
What is sortilege?
Crane. Sortilege is magic.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do magic.
All right. So I get 8 slots to fill with stuff.
There's a bit of an item store in your booklet that has everything you can start out with a number beside it, and the number is how many slots it takes up in your stuff like tea kettles and kaleidoscopes, I think.
Let's see. Oh man, I wish I had daggers because I have so many in my face. But maybe that's why I'm bad at them. I'm gonna take a -1 in daggers.
You might have put them in your face by accident.
Yeah, I can't. I shouldn't use daggers anymore. They all end up in my face somehow.
If you take those daggers out, it's going to cause you to leak out a bit. You have to take wounds. So I would.
But then
you're
we
filled
get
with candy, so you'll heal.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's see. I'm gonna be bad at daggers. Funambulist is acrobatics kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool flips.
Coxswain is like being on a ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, it's piloting any kind of vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and go over that a little bit more in depth. Your job as players is to take that list of subjects, not just the ones you're good at and not avoiding the ones you're bad at, but all of them. And basically, you want to use those as best you can to overcome challenges and complete tasks. And any way that you can justify using them is okay. Like, ran a game not too long ago where the players needed to get across a rushing river. And so one of the players ended up using their subject in like bouquet to find a good sturdy tree or like a slightly dying tree, and then coxswain to climb up that tree and then pilot it down across the river so everyone could get across.
Nice.
So that's sort of how those work. It's unlike skills in most games that are very specific and very like case use specific. Those subjects are meant to be bent and to your will and broken in cool and fun ways.
I'm excited. That's awesome.
All right.
All right. So
But yeah, they do also have like silly old words. So if you have any questions, there is the list of subjects is in like one of the last pages of the booklet. So it has like a sort of terse definition of each one.
Awesome.
All right. So I pick 3 of these. Oh, obviously decorum. I mean, I'm a fancy crane.
Yeah, I also have decorum.
Yeah, decorum's important in the Forest, and people, especially animal folk, if they're not being like overly polite, they are at least pretending to be overly polite.
Mm-hmm.
I get one more.
Oh shit.
What does bouquet mean?
Bouquet is sort of like knowing the forest, flowers and trees and stuff like that.
Cool. All right. How
All
to
right,
play.
bad grades.
All right.
I am bad at surgery. I am bad at bouquet, and I am bad at.
Okay, so my starting capacity is 9.
Yep.
But I am very good at chicanery, gambling,
I want
and sleep.
The highlight. Let's see.
I've got chicanery, decorum, and ledger as my +1s.
Mm-hmm.
And daggers, pistols, and surgery as my -1s. All right, starting equipment.
I can't remember how to turn off the highlighting on the form fillable parts.
Oh yeah, I hate that. There's I know where the option in Adobe is. It's in the like preferences and views and stuff. Because the character sheet looks like total garbo and that highlighting is on.
Yeah, I'm using Acrobat, but I never have to turn it off, so I can't remember. It's under preferences.
Something like that, yeah.
Mine is on the purple ribbon right above the field, above the form. It says highlight fields.
Yeah, I feel like there's usually like a button. Oops. Get out of here, thing. We don't want to see you. That's
Yeah,
okay.
the first time I made a form fillable thing like for this game, and I saw that highlighting, I was like, man, this looks terrible. And if I can't turn that off and tell other people how to turn it off, I am going to not make a form fillable character sheet because I'm petty.
Yeah.
No.
There's got to be a way to get it here. I think it would be on show hide. But, maybe it's under tools.
Bag of candy seems kind of silly to take when we could just stab Kurt.
Oh, he's not full of candy anymore, though.
What? No,
Oh,
I'm
he's
still full
not?
of candy. I just don't have a globe head.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
now
just
have a
pull a
sack head
dagger.
full of daggers.
Yeah,
Pull
just
a dagger out of
his
his head
face.
and then eat the candy.
But for him to heal,
Put the dagger
you
back
might need
in.
more candy. So,
Oh.
could
Yeah,
be good to have.
I'll have to take a bag of candy so I can eat after these damn animals are done
You
pulling
don't
all the
have a
daggers
mouth.
out of my face.
Ghosts don't eat because they don't have mouths. But they pretend they're polite about it. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to stop looking at how to fix this sheet and move on. Here we go. So I need to buy some items. I can hold 9 things. So I can't eat a bag of candy, or can I just shove the candy back in my body?
Yes.
And that would count? Okay.
Yep. And so if you take wounds, you have a spot on your character sheet that says wounds and one that says health. If your wounds equals your health, then you're unconscious and unable to act. To heal up, you can use there's special herbs and bandages and surgery stuff you can use to heal up. For animal folk and people, it's blood and gut stuff. For ghosts, you're going to need like a sewing kit and some more of your filling. But you can heal up almost all of your wounds just that way. But if the last wound, you can't be like perfectly in harmonium with yourself until you have a picnic and a nap. So.
Okay. I kind of want a large item, but... Oh, pipe and tobacco. Yeah, I definitely need a pipe and tobacco. Don't know
Because
what I'm
ghosts
gonna do.
can
My
smoke.
head is full of hay, so definitely put a fire next to it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely put a fire next to it. Okay, so I can get 2 more things.
An ornate hairbrush to brush out my hay.
Obs.
Okay, did you do your items, Gigett?
I'm working on it right now.
Okay.
Did you do yours?
I've got 2 so far, but there's a lot of stuff on here I want.
Should I take a dagger? Like, one fell out of my face and I just carry it around now?
Don't you have a -1 of dagger, though?
I do.
Yeah. I mean...
Oh.
I would. Or do a gun and see if you could shoot yourself in the face for the
All my
Full
candy will
scope.
spill out. I don't want to do
full
that.
scope of experience of self-harm.
Definitely a large box of matches. I'm just a walking
matches.
nightmare.
I do
Yes.
too. We're starting a fire, guys.
I brought a flask of oil and a large box of matches for the hay guy. I brought a leash and collar in case one of you animals starts acting up.
Oh no.
Jeez. Oh.
I also
Oh,
have
wait,
a small
do we
oil
have to
lantern
count
to
money
burn
or-
down the whole forest.
It's
Say what?
capacity, right?
It's just
Sorry,
capacity, right? We don't have to pay for this stuff?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All
you
right.
don't count coins in this game because I think that's the worst way to play role-playing games. So,
Right?
I mean, not the worst. It's just tedious, and I don't like tedious. Nobody has time for tedious.
Yeah, I'm a human. I'm the most dangerous animal in existence. I'm gonna burn down the whole forest.
I'm gonna burn the whole world.
Okay, so I took 2 blackberry tarts,
I'm going to get a new shirt.
a magnifying glass, a small tea kettle, a telescope, a large box of matches, a diary and pen, a small oil lantern, and a flask of oil.
Nice.
There we go.
I got so excited about
Tried
my
to
new
take all the
shirt
things that would make me more fancy.
because I'm wearing a shabby old shirt.
A shabby
So
old shirt.
it says capacity 9. That means I pick 9 things off the item store, right?
You can.
You can if they all weigh. If they all have a.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have
everything
anything-
I've picked so far is
Some of them take up 2 places.
Mm-hmm. Like if you bring a broomstick, that's two places.
And if it says L, it's just like you're carrying it around in your hands.
Or wearing it or something like that. Yep. It's not in your backpack or on your belt or whatever, but it's on your person. Ghost. Animal.
Got it.
Animal person.
Is anybody bringing instrument of any variety? I have a whistle,
I am.
which is not the best instrument.
I could take a
It
piccolo.
depends on what country you're in. Whistle is like the best like salsa instrument.
I'm taking a compass.
I am done with my equipment.
Cool.
I'm done with my character. You guys
Did you say
take
there was a
forever.
compass on your list? Oh, there is
Oh,
a compass.
yeah.
There's a
I took
fishing
the
rod
compass.
and bait. I don't know what I would fish for.
Fish.
I'll just fish anyway. No, I don't want fishing rod and bait. Oh,
Oh, I
diary and
think that's
pen.
the end of it.
Diary and pen.
So I took makeup set, bag of marbles,
You
lock
took
picking
what?
tools,
Oh, makeup set. Okay.
lock and key, a pistol, vial of mushroom poison, a large empty bottle, a compass, and a jar of lightning bugs.
Nice.
Of course you did.
I've got a bag of candy, pipe and tobacco, an ornate hairbrush, a dagger, a large box of matches, a new shirt, a compass, and a diary and pen.
I love it.
Let's see. So is that it? Is that all our
Yep.
characters done?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
Pretty simple.
Okay. Gigett just absconded. I don't know what
What did she
happened
take?
there.
The only other thing that we're not doing today with character creation that is in the game is everyone has a superstition. The people like forest dwellers are very superstitious. Those are a little bit more complicated. So we're going to just leave that one out for now.
Okay. Someone has a question in chat. If people miss the Kickstarter, are they going to have a chance to buy this game?
Yes, we're at the sort of tail end of production. Just a few more art pieces to go, and then it'll go off to the printer. And as soon as I get word from the printer that they've shipped to my house, I'm gonna erroneously start pre-order. I know that if I do that, there'll be a fire on a train, a plane will crash, a boat will sink, something bad will happen, and I'll have to cancel.
China
the
will
pre-order.
burn all your books.
Well, we're printing in Canada, but
Oh, good.
They're
Why does my
scandal.
game
Don't-
smell like
don't
syrup?
do it.
But yes, there will be a really small amount of books available to buy. After that, I'm only doing the one printing. It'll be fancy, and people will have to beat each other up to get copies of it after it's sold out, because I won't do a second print run. Not likely. If like Wizards of the Coast, if they're like, "Hey man, this is the best thing ever, way better than our crap game. We want to pay for another printing," then I'll do it.
Well, can't be any worse. Fifth Ed sucks. Just throwing that out there.
I'm going to clear.
I like to talk shit about 5th edition D&D because one of my best friends worked on it. So
I
He's
like to
not
talk
watching
shit
this.
about it because I don't like it.
that's also a really good reason. I haven't played it in a while. The last time I played it, I ran a game for my wife and all of her coworkers, and none of them had really ever played a role-playing game before. And so, like, someone's character died falling out of a tree, and they split the party, and it was just like, well, that was fun. Everyone's dead. Well, if you guys pick another game and make somebody else run it.
We all love Dungeons and Dragons. It's just that the tabletop genre has expanded so dramatically over the last 10 to 15 years. There's just a lot more creative and interesting things to play lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think my time is best spent doing games with a little bit more focus. I'm going to spend a lot less time prepping to figure out like what my players are going to do, or if I'm playing, I don't want to do homework and create a character before the game. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think more like creative experiences, more focused experiences there's a lot of cool games coming out doing that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this game, the best one of them all.
See, like I started with D&D 3.5, so I love the homework. I love sitting and building characters for hours at a time. And 5th edition just does not have enough options, and there's not enough interesting stuff in there for me.
Yeah,
but I like this. I like the random character gen. It's like really quick, and there's a lot of really interesting options on it. And I like just randomly rolling up a character and being like, okay, well this is this character's backstory now.
Oh, I guess I need a name.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Once everybody has a name for their
Daggerface,
for character,
Daggerface.
We'll go ahead and we'll reintroduce each other with our names so we know who's doing what.
All right. Oh man, a name. This is the hardest part of any character creation.
Yep. There's some recommended names at sort of the beginning of the book. Ghosts tend to be named after old songs and places they haunt. Oh, and also alcohol. And then older animal folk, they take names that have titles that aren't necessarily like indicative. Like Colonel Frog might not be a colonel. There's no standing, Forest Him army. Stuff like that. And people just their names are all pretty like Southern names because I live in the South. That's all I know.
I love Carol of the Winter Wind. That is so good.
If you look closely at those ghost names, the ones that aren't like purple prose like that are straight up booze.
Yeah, Jameson. One of them is just, where is it? Jameson River Ghost.
Yep. Bullet Creek Boggart,
Uh-huh.
Makerstown Hot.
All right. Actually, Carol of the Winter Wind won't fit. I'm going to go with Jameson. I'm going to go with Jameson River Ghost. Where's that? Yeah.
And then the last name on that list, the Dismal Hollow, that's local to this area. There's an actual place here in Middle Tennessee called Dismal Hollow. My best friend's uncle lives there, and that's how I know about it. And I remember like 3 a.m. one night, my best friend, his name is Todd, he was at my house, we were watching scary movies. He was like, oh shit, I forgot to feed the horses. And I was like, what? So it's like 3 a.m. We get in his car and he drives me out to this place called Dismal Hollow, pitch black, like on the side of a huge hill, to feed these horses.
Oh my God.
It's terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely sounds scary. From the Hampshire Badgertons.
Yeah, McBadger Badgerton the third.
Of the Hampshire Badgertons.
Of the Hampshire Badgertons.
For sure.
That's my name.
One suggestion on the sign here on the name field, I would make it the auto size text so it shrinks as you type.
I just put my name in the description.
All right. I think we're good. I think we're ready. Has everybody got their stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. So I have all my characteristics done. My health and my fair token is tails.
Oh, what are
My
the
inventory
mods
is
for?
done, and my
Mods.
subjects are done.
Cool. So yeah, I guess the last thing would be the mods. If you've got your inventory.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
is- There's a little sidebar in the book, but basically that's your characteristic minus 10. So if you have a strength of 12, your mod is 2. If you have a resolve of 8, your mod is minus 2. Pretty simple.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
The modifier for your characteristic, it's whatever your characteristic score is minus 10. So like if you're in,
Okay.
so if like your intelligence is 100, then your modifier is 90.
So strength 10 would be mod minus 1?
Strength 10 is no mod. It's just 0.
Or, I mean, sorry, strength 9 would be -1.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
And there's only modifiers for the primary stat.
Yep.
Sweet.
So
The other
agility
things-
is +1.
Yeah, the other characteristics, some of them are spendable, like wealth. That's a representation of just your spending power in general. Like we don't count pennies. Pennies is the currency they use in the Forest Hem.
Mhm.
Little like bronze coins with a picture of the store on one side and a cent sign on the other.
Nice.
But instead of tracking pennies, like your wealth is how many pennies you might have somewhere. Your grandma might have left you some good money. You might have some debtors who owe you money and pay regularly. It's just kind of like your spending power in general. When you go to buy stuff, like it has a cost, and if that cost is the same as or less than your wealth, you can just get it. Like you can afford it.
Cool.
If it's more than your wealth, you subtract the difference. So like if your wealth is 4 and the thing you want to buy is 5, you can buy it and then you take 1 away from your wealth. Luck is for basically testing your luck. When you go to do something, before you do it or while you do it, the roll can't be after. You flip a coin, and if the result is the same as your fair token and you fail that roll, you can have a success. And each time you test your luck like that, you take 1 away from luck. And then defense is generally the same as agility, unless you have there's a picture of the badger with the barrel. That might make your defense go up. And then health we talked about. Yeah. So. And we're all level 0, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Think I'm good?
Cool.
All right.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm hungry. Let's start with
excited.
the picnic part.
And I did figure out how to turn off the highlighting. It is in the
Oh, cool.
preferences. I had to Google it.
I closed the stream because I'm afraid it'll make my internet blow up. But
Oh yeah.
the chat. I'm watching you chat.
They're talking mad it's at you.
It's all people I know. Like,
Oh, that explains why then.
Yeah, whenever I have issues with my internet, the first thing I turn off is Discord.
yeah.
That makes streaming very hard.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got our forest dwellers.
Yay.
Let's introduce each of the forest. Let's set up a cool scene for this. Actually, so in the Forest Hem, this endless forest, there are villages and towns and things that pepper the forest. Usually, they're on hills above the tree line, and they're pastoral. There's rolling fields, and it's just beautiful. But when there's not a nearby village or town, in the woods and just around the place, there's these boarding homes, and they're where people or forest dwellers who've been lost in the woods sort of congregate and take up residence in a building those original people behind. And these boarding homes are just full of different walks of life. There might be thieves in there, or just little lost kids, or people who just can't really find their way or don't want to find their way back to a town, or just prefer life in the woods, And that's where you all live. You live in this boarding home. It's Miss Delilah's boarding home. Miss Delilah is an old crow, literally. She's a crow animal folk. And she runs the place. She runs a tight ship. She's no nonsense. And she we'll start. It's morning. The sun is rising, and sort of met downstairs at this boarding home to have breakfast. And who are we?
Who wants to go first?
You.
So I float downstairs and into the room and take up my normal seat where there is no plate, but a large steaming cup of coffee. And I lift it and pretend to blow on it to cool it.
Splash it on your face.
and I don't drink it. I just like pretend like I'm blowing to cool my coffee. And I look around and morning.
And what's your ghost's name?
Jameson
Jameson?
River G.
Jameson River G.
What's the G stand for?
Ghost.
Okay. Who's next?
I think we see a very long, lanky crane come walking down the stairs and take a seat at the table. Obviously, big powdered wig, nice vest with like a pocket watch. And he's, I'm Winston T. Randolph the Third. As he kind of looks down over his glasses at you.
Winston T. Randolph. Lawyer in Crane.
I am a badger, and I am sitting underneath the stairs, and it looks like I'm cleaning my pistol off, and then I suddenly look like I'm trying to find something, and as I pat my jacket, dust starts kind of issuing from my jacket because I'm dirty. And my name is Badger McBadger Badgerton, the third of the Hampshire Badgertons. I'm very small.
All right, so they start to kind of walk down the stairs, look down, and see that the lobby is already getting quite crowded with these other creatures, animals, and ghosts and whatnot. So I kind of hesitantly work my way down the stairs and find a table off to the side, away from everybody, and have a seat, kind of by myself with my back to the wall, just kind of surveying everything. And it's just a human wearing a guy just wearing a clean, plain clothes. His name is Calvin Babbage.
Calvin Babbage.
Yeah.
You guys ever see that movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
Yes.
Yep.
You know that
No.
scene where he meets up with Gal for the first time and she's telling about the problem. He's like, I take very extensive notes, and it shows it, and he drew a picture of a cat and wrote El Gato. That's how I run games. Like I just write down everything as people say it, and some of it's nonsense. Like when you were talking about Jameson River coming down, I wrote coffee for something. Like I don't need to know that.
It could come up later. You don't know.
You never know.
Roll to coffee. All right, so the four of you have descended to have your breakfast, or pretend to have your breakfast, or to hide under the stairs to do weird stuff, and you kind of know each other a little bit from having been in the boarding home for. Why the reasons you're there are your own. Some people like to be private about it. Some are very obvious, and. The way that the boarding home sort of works is there are people that are in and out. Sometimes forest dwellers that come and go, but the long-term residents, they sort of have an agreement with Miss Delilah where they kind of help out around the place with chores and things like that in return for basically rent to stay at the boarding home. These things can be, sweeping the porch or oiling the bikes. Or going into town or something. The closest town is not close. It's a day or two away by bike. So on foot, 3 or 4 days. So that's kind of what our adventure is going to be about, is these chores. And since we're doing, your stream has this kind of side quest theme. This is our menagerie of side quests to earn your keep at Miss Delilah's boarding home.
Awesome.
And she, as you're doing your breakfast stuff, she asks who's up for some housework for the day. Just let her know, and she'll find something for y'allins to do. That's what she says. Y'allins.
Are we from New Orleans?
Could be. The y'allins from Nolans. I know a guy who's going to be really pissed that I just said that.
Endo's got some roots there.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah. have y'all seen Mr. Badger today?
My ears perk up, and I kind of back into the corner a little bit.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Badger. He didn't come down for breakfast. I mean, he normally comes down for breakfast.
I don't want to mess with Mr. Badger much. I just want to get my chores done for Miss Delilah today.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm up for some chores. I could join in.
Miss Delilah, dear.
She looks at you. She's sort of wiping down, and then she's like, "We need a loaf of bread." And all the four of you know instantly that a loaf of bread doesn't mean a sack with some sliced bread. It means like the biggest loaf of bread you can. We're talking like this thing needs a cart, and it comes in. Someone fetches it, brings it back to the boarding home, and it's sort of this large shared loaf of bread that sticks around until it's gone.
I believe we'll be making a bread run today.
Oh. Been a long time since I've done a bread run.
Those of you who want to go look for the bread, she asks if anybody needs any bullets or weapons, because the bread is like very sought after. People really love this bread, and so there's trouble around bread.
Oh.
Well, I'm full of weapons, but not much use with them. Not since the incident.
Delilah shakes her head. She hears you talk about this every single morning. She's kind of tired of it, but she entertains. She doesn't want to run any paying customers or tenants out, especially ones who fetch the dangerous bread.
You've been awfully quiet, Mr. Calvin. What says you? Are you gonna help us get this bread?
Of course. I'll take some bullets.
Oh,
sweet.
A dangerous fella.
I don't touch such a thing. He kind of grabs his vest and puffs himself. I don't touch a weapon. That's not necessary. We can just talk our way out of things. We don't need to resort to violence.
Oh, very, very well.
I walk into the kitchen, and I kind of shout loudly, "I heard you need a steady hand!" And I kind of like wave my pistol across the room in front of everyone.
Forest dwellers that are down there like start ducking, and like as you yell that out, Miss Delilah, like it startles her, and like feathers kind of puff behind her. She's like, this is something that she's not used to, even though she knows it happens every morning. And she's like, good, yes, just here, take what you need and get on the road, because we're going to need this bread soon. And from staying at the boarding home in the past, you know that the nearest town that is, a day or two away, they are famous for baking the forest's largest loaves of bread. And then that's where you can get it. So you can go ahead and get started, set on the road. You can poke around the boarding home if you want, whatever y'allins want to do.
Miss Delilah, do you have a cart for us to bring the loaf back with us?
She nods. She's like, it's round back where it's always at.
Well, gentlemen, let's set to work.
Yeah, let's.
So you go out to the front of the boarding home, and this boarding home is sort of basically like a huge square. It's like 4 stories tall and pokes just over the top of the trees in the forest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And round back next to the sort of like cellar doors is a cart that it's hand drawn. It's a hand drawn cart. It doesn't have leads or anything for a horse. I don't know anything about horses, so I don't know what that thing is called. but it doesn't have it.
Oh.
I crawl into the cart, and then I point my gun out of the side of the cart, saying, "Okay, let's go."
Mr. Badger, you know very well that I am not heavy enough to move this cart.
I'll just grab the arms of the cart and start dragging it, pulling it down the road.
Cool. So yeah,
I don't acknowledge Jameson at all. Like, as he's talking to me, I don't acknowledge that he's speaking at all.
That
You
used to
don't
be
believe
part
in
of this
ghosts?
game. That got play tested out, but that was the thing. One of the superstitions was you didn't believe in ghosts.
That's the one that I have. I have the superstition I don't believe in ghosts.
But it created, like, I had some groups, playtesting groups, that were like, "This is not fun." Like, I just wanted them to talk to me. Like, we've got to get this stuff done.
Oh,
We'll get rid of that.
no, it's
Then it
funny.
was the ghosts that were complaining. One human and 3 ghosts. It's like, I don't believe in ghosts. Shit.
It's just a figment of my imagination.
Yeah. It created way more trouble than I thought. And there was one person who was like, I don't like that the book told me that I can't believe in this. So you could have picked a different one, dude.
Yeah.
I'll actually go re-roll that. That is probably
No, keep it. I'm gonna try to make you believe. That's my goal for the game now.
Oh, that was. Do you have the old character creation one, or is that in the?
Is it in there? I didn't even see superstitions. I didn't roll one. Was I supposed to do a
Yeah,
superstition?
it was. I did roll it. Let me see here.
Is it under your anecdote?
Oh, it's in one of those things. Yep. Make a note. Revision. So, like,
it's in the animal folk one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep that though. Let's run with it because you guys seem like you can handle it, and those other dudes didn't.
You're not convinced ghosts are real, despite growing up next door to one. Subtract 1 from your intellect,
Yeah.
and plus 1 to your resolve.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I've known you forever. You grew up next to me.
He just thinks like the stork is telekinetic or something, and it's just levitating attack with daggers in case we need one.
Mr. Badger, you are so funny.
That's awesome.
The ghost of Forrest Gump.
I don't know what this accent is, but I'm gonna stick with
It's
it.
totally Forrest Gump. It's alright, I love it.
Life is like a ghost of candy.
So
hey, we got a follow or something on that. Thanks, fellas.
Calvin grabs the hand cart that our Badger is the turret of, holding his pistol, ignoring the ghost, and you set out down the road. In front of the front door of the boarding home, kind of just has a walkway to the road that goes like that, and you know the town to be left down that road, which I guess it could be west. No one really pays attention to cardinal direction in the Forest Inn because they're either not smart enough to, or it's useless because it's so easy to get lost. There's no identifiable landmark. Compasses, they point north, but it's kind of like a little nebulous. No one's really sure what that means, or what is true north. Just that they have that dial that points to it. But you know that this town is down the road a bit.
Well, gentlemen, it's a good thing that we know that bandits can only travel east, and since we're traveling west, it won't be a problem.
Unless they're west of us and they travel east into us.
I don't believe that'll be a problem.
The Pac-Man conundrum.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, well, I'm pulling this cart down the road. I don't know what the ghost and the crane are doing.
Yeah, what y'all doing?
I don't know if I feel that that's true. I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm gonna watch the tree line because I don't know. I'm pretty sure bandits can travel wherever they please. At least
It's
in
true.
my experience.
I don't know. That's a pretty old stork. I don't think a stork would get that old without picking up a few tricks.
That's racist. I'm a crane.
I don't. What's the difference?
Did he call you a duck?
Mr. Winston, I do believe that bandits lack the decorum necessary to abide by these rules.
No, trust me. When I was a boy, and like Winston starts going into a very long story, about something that happened to him when he was a young crane, and just very confidently is walking behind the cart, not looking around, just very confidently walking and telling a very boring story about his childhood.
I think I'm taking it all down in my diary, but I'm adding notes like the narrator would, like he would find it not to be true.
It sounds like you're narrating the Shawshank Redemption. That's what you're doing.
I said, Knifehead, are you saying that bandits have poor manners? Because I cannot stand poor manners.
Well, they are bandits.
It is
All
in
right.
poor taste to be a bandit.
I would imagine they are lacking in many things. Coin, probably. Well, unless they've just done a robbery.
Rubbery?
Yeah, excuse me. Did you say rubbery?
A robbery.
Oh.
I start getting nervous, so I take my pennies out of my pocket and I put them in my shoe. Now I'm nervous about all this bandit talk.
Mr. Badger, that is going to make it very difficult if you have to run.
But
Mr.
they
Badger?
won't steal my shoes.
Ah! He responded.
But why would we need to run? There will be no bandits on this journey.
So as the crane is explaining bandits on this journey and relating her or his, you were playing a boy crane, right?
He is a gentleman, yes.
A gentleman crane. A respectable
Yes.
respectable man.
Upstanding gentleman
Respectable
crane.
man.
Upstanding member of the Crane Society.
Yes.
Is talking about how there'll be no crane or there'll be no this trip. You hear galloping behind you, just sort of as you get out of eyesight of the boarding home, and you can't see the galloping, which is pretty common because the trees tunnel. You hear these things, but you hear galloping coming behind you for sure.
Oh, it sounds like someone is running quite fast.
Maybe we should move the cart off the road. Let them
Get off the
pass.
main road!
Yes, we should definitely move if they're wanting to run past.
Quickly,
Pull the
Calvin.
cart.
We are not
Towards
taking
the-
we're taking a leisurely stroll here. We don't want to get in their way.
I'll pull the cart towards the right, to the right lane, but I'm not stopping. They can go around. They can pass on the left.
Yes, decorum states that we do pull to the right.
So as you sort of move the car out of from behind you, this galloping gets much louder, and into sight comes this ghost forest dweller. This ghost doesn't have a head like a mask like most would. There's like a hood that kind of goes over where the head would be, kind of just floating there, I guess. And they're riding that horse very fast, just tearing down. And just as they pass you, raccoon animal folk jumps out of a tree and lands on the back of that horse, and they start like slapping at each other, kind of hitting each other, but continuing to gallop forward.
Oh my! What is going on here?
That badger is assaulting that friendly ghost.
We should help him.
Oh, well, of course. Stop, Mr. Ghost. Halt!
He like looks around the raccoon they're fighting. Fighting.
Have they already gone past this?
Yes, they're. I mean, they're hauling horse ass down the road. So he, as you call out, "Stop, Mr. Ghost." He sort of looks at you while he's hitting, but they sort of like disappear into the woods.
What a strange sighting to see on the road today.
I sure hope he's okay.
Did anyone recognize that gentleman? Is it someone from the inn?
No, you didn't recognize him. The raccoon or the ghost, they're unfamiliar to you.
Raccoons can't be trusted.
I'll look at the badger and say, "Do you recognize that? Is that one of your brothers or something?"
Excuse me?
So that is the
I'm not
second
related
time
to
you
a
were quite,
Raccoon?
you're quite
What?
racist.
All you animals look the same.
They are very different. Mr. Calvin, you are surely lacking in your. We should talk about the proper ways to interact with animal folk. Allow me to enumerate them, and I'll start listing every single animal and the way to address them.
Just start
I'll
dragging
point to the front of the
down
cart.
road
Let's
again.
go!
You start pulling the cart faster.
Yep.
I'll annoy you from behind so that you move quicker. This is me helping.
This is a great source of fuel.
Yeah.
So other than that strange thing, you make it about half your journey uneventfully. It's a beautiful day in the forest. It's spring. There's wildflowers along the side, and they smell great. And there's birds chirping because they're making little baby birds, and they're excited about it. But it's a pretty, other than that, it's kind of a lonely, road. But it passes uneventfully. And we can take that first break now.
Sure.
If you guys want to do coffee and pee, and then
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We're gonna take 5-10 minutes here. We will be right back. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
nice
Welcome
CBD.
back.
Hello and welcome.
Oops.
Thank you for hanging with us through the break.
Hey.
We are back, and I'm excited to find out what's on the end of this road, and who's going to try to steal our bread from us.
There aren't any bandits on this road. Winston,
They gonna try.
None bandits.
They
So
gonna
far, you
fail.
are correct.
There's headless horsemen, ghosts, and small furry creatures. So
There are floating
Those-
badgers.
those aren't
floating
bandits.
raccoons.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say the horse was a ghost, so it could have just been a runaway actual horse.
That's
that a
true. It could have just been a
raccoon
raccoon
jumped
jumping on a horse.
We actually prefer hooded versus headless. It's a small change, but
But you're not wearing a hood.
well, no, but
Then why would I call you hooded?
I'm not a hooded ghost.
You're a sack.
You're a hoodless ghost.
I'm a hoodless ghost.
Well,
I
I feel like-
have a sack. This is
Well, then, what gives you the right to say we if you're not wearing a hood?
no. I'm a ghost. We have customs.
Okay, I start pulling
Would you
the
like
cart
me
down
to
the road.
list them for you? I have them here in my book. And he starts
This is my
flipping.
favorite part of this game, is watching people like suss the world out. It's so much fun. I only made this game to be entertained. Like, it's not a money thing. It's not like a job thing. It's just like entertain me, make me laugh.
What?
Yeah. So you travel in the forest. Tim, we sort of measure traveling an afternoon's walk,
Mhm.
and you make it about an afternoon, and you come to a fork in the road, and you know that left or right down this fork is towards Breadtown. We'll
Mhm.
call it Breadtown. And the right leads to places you're not sure of. But you notice that there is a cloak on this a little ways down the right.
Oh my! That poor ghost fellow lost his cloak.
Well, that's
Mhm.
horrible. We should see if we can't get it back to him.
Yes, it needs to be laundered.
I'll go and check it.
Okay,
I'm gonna go get the cloak.
I'm gonna continue pulling the cart towards Breadtown because that's our job.
Calvin,
Sir,
Calvin,
we are.
Mr. Calvin.
Okay, so yeah, you check out the cloak.
What's up?
Cal-
What's going on with this cloak?
So it definitely looks like it's all black wool, which you kind of makes people second guess because who's wearing a big black cloak in the spring? It's a little hot for that. But it's other than that, it's unremarkable in most ways. It's a little tattered in places. It might be a hand me, but you know that's the cloak.
Does it look like the cloak the ghost was wearing, or
You could be the cloak.
Um,
Might have fallen off of him or been taken from him. Who knows?
Well, I'll look around for horse tracks. Do we see the?
So you are people who live in the forest aren't sort of like, or any forest dwellers aren't. They're not normally predisposed to being able to track stuff.
Oh, sure.
So we're going to do a question and find searching around. And the way that a question and answer roll works is it's a D20 plus your modifier bonus. You can pick one characteristic with a modifier bonus that you think is most applicable. I think right here would probably be intelligence would probably be the one you would want to use if you've got that. And then you can use your subjects to add your gifts and gags to this. And like I was saying earlier, there's not like a right or wrong. I mean, sometimes there's like specific subjects you're going to want to use, but there's not like a right or wrong way to do this question and answer roll. Okay. You tell me how you want to do it, and then we'll sort of work it out. And when you make your roll, you do the D20 plus the modifier, your gifts and your gags, or from your subjects, and you're trying to meet or beat 10.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I have a +1 intelligence, so I actually have a bonus in that. The only one I have a bonus in. And I think I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try to like figure out the trajectory to see if like did they go off the road or so was it were they riding the way they were meant to be, or were they like being erratic? And that caused them to snag this thing.
You want to see if there was a firefight?
Yeah, was there a fight here?
Cool. What subject are you going to use for that?
Well, I mean, decorum dictates that they would have been on the left with a horse, and so if they were, in the wrong place, then obviously something was wrong.
So you're checking for traffic violations?
Yes, I'm looking for a traffic violation.
I like it. Yep. Go for it. So you have a +1 in decorum.
Yeah.
You are
do you
now
have anything
ghost cop.
Yeah, ghost cop. Do you have anything in bouquet?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, bouquet is just blank.
Cool. All right, so you're going to do a D20 plus did you say your intelligence was +1?
Yes.
So D20 +1 plus an additional D6.
Okay. Ooh. So it's a +1 to the die roll, and then I roll an extra D6 for the skill?
Yeah, you can do it in any order you want. It's just sort of how I mentally do the equation. Yeah, because the D20 and the modifier are static.
All right, so it's going to be here we go. So I have an 18 on the D20 and a 1 on the D6. So with a +1, that's 19. Do I add the D6 to the D20 for this system? Okay, so then 20.
Sweet. What? So you've basically rolled what's a fortune. In the Force Sim, we have a graduated success scale, kind of like in Apocalypse World games, nice. Which is one of the things that's changed from its Shadow of the Demon Lord roots. But you have not only been able to discuss, meet your challenge, answer your question, you've sort of hit a bonus. So you search around the road where the cloak was, and not only can you tell that this horse was absolutely not on the side of the road they're supposed to be, you can tell that not maybe a yard away from where the cloak was, the tracks to this horse sort of veer off sharply into the woods, into the dense foliage of the woods. And you can tell that horse is wearing very, very fine horseshoes. There's a flecks of gold sort of in the dirt where the horseshoes were. So these are like very fancy and very fine horseshoes.
Well, this gentleman was certainly experienced some sort of trauma here, because not only did he violate the rules of the road, but he done ran off into the forest. Strange behavior for such a fine horse or rider.
He's gonna get lost in there.
Certainly, we should go in and check on him here.
No, we shouldn't.
Why not? I think he might be in trouble.
We can't leave a gentleman in the woods by himself.
Yeah, and this.
We have to go get our bread.
We'll get the bread next.
Well, but what if
if we
someone
get lost in
steals
the
his
woods?
golden horseshoes?
Such
What if we
finery.
get lost?
Well, maybe he would. He's a well-off gentleman. Perhaps there'd be a reward for his rescue.
The horse?
No, the
How would the
gentleman
horse be
riding the
wealthy?
horse.
The raccoon? The raccoon didn't look like he had any money.
No, the raccoon is the one who attacked the gentleman.
The horse? Why are you calling a horse a gentleman? I'm so confused. Let's go get the bread.
No, you don't understand. Listen, this horse had golden horseshoes. We can't let that. Someone might rip them off the horse. That would be rude.
Calvin, are you heading towards Breadtown?
Yeah.
He's just left us behind.
Calvin!
You gotta stay on mission.
Calvin! Sir!
I'm still in the cart, so...
Yeah. You shouting from behind the car. I'm not looking.
Calvin!
No! Let's get the bread!
Calvin, listen to your elders. Come back.
You called yourself Colonel, right?
It is quite rude to walk away from a gentleman when he is speaking to you.
I hate bad manners. Fine. What?
There is someone in trouble and we must help.
Calvin, you like K-turning the cart around the woods.
5-point turn. Why? We were sent to get bread. Like we need to get the bread back.
We'll get the bread,
Man.
but we've got to go.
There's a
and
lot
find
of
out if he's
people
okay.
want this
You're
bread.
changing your accent there, Kurt.
Whoops.
You're Forrest
A
Gump,
lot
remember?
of people. A lot of people want the bread.
We will go and get the bread when we've finished saving this gentleman.
All right. What do you think, Mr. Ferret?
Oh, I love it.
You in the cart. What do you think?
I think we should go get the bread and not get lost in the woods over some strange raccoon jumping on horses.
When you put it like that.
Okay, so we're split. How are we going to democratically resolve this?
We have the cart.
Well, obviously, we Rochambeau for it.
Like real
How about-
Rochambeau
how
or
about
rock, paper,
we-
scissors Rochambeau?
How about we gamble for it?
That is not not
Heads
something
we
the
go-
gentleman does.
Heads we go after the horse. Tails we go get the bread.
Because you would tuck tail and run. I like it.
This is pretty forced. This is pretty on point for the Forrest hymn.
Mm-hmm.
Putting things up to the toss of a coin.
All right.
Now, if I'm flipping the penny and I have a +1 skill in gambling, can I be good at flipping the coin to try and get the result that I want?
You're going to cheat?
Yes.
Yes, cheat, exactly. Okay.
I love it. Roll
Yes,
to
cheat. Exactly. That's what it's called.
You flip the penny,
That's the
flip
word
the
that I
penny.
would use.
and if
So-
you get the bird face, then you have to do what the bird says. And then if you get the other one, you go get bread.
So,
Yeah, so-
do you, uh-huh.
It's going to be D20, an intelligence modifier if you have it, because it's being pretty slick, and then chicanery or gamble, or both.
Oh, really? Because I'm
Yeah.
+1 in chicanery and gamble.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you definitely use both. So
All right.
you'll do your D20 plus, and then you'll do 2D6.
You
But
cut
you
out.
only
Can
take-
you, what
Yeah,
was
it cut
that?
out there. What was it?
You'll do D20 plus your intelligence modifier if you, and then you'll do 2D6 on top of that. But you take the highest result of the 2D6 and add that to your D20 and modify.
Cool.
So my highest D6 is a 4, and my D20 is a 7. I have a -1 to intelligence, but I have a +1 to chicanery and gamble.
Right. So your D20 is 7 plus your highest gift, which is a 4. It gives you 11 minus 1 for your intelligence. Gives it 10, which is you got it. So you pull out your coin, and you want to tell us how you sleight of handedly make this work in your favor.
Yeah, so I flip the coin, and when it's in the air, I'm consciously looking at how it's flipping, and then I take my hand on top and I push the coin down. So I slap it down on the cart, and it's tails.
Tails it is.
Okay.
There, the fates have decided. We don't follow the weird horse with the strange, evil-looking raccoon. And we go get our bread like we were asked to do.
I can't believe we're just going to ignore this gentleman's need for help. But, I mean, his cloak was pretty tattered, so maybe he wasn't actually a gentleman after all.
Well, if they were running down the right path and then they ran off the road into the left side of the forest, they might just cut straight across the forest down to the left path, and we might just run into them anyways, so we should just keep going down the left path towards Breadtown.
Then we won't get lost.
I like your logic. Let's keep moving.
Very, very well. I'll put on the cloak.
Now you're a
Maybe it
hooded
will-
ghost.
Maybe it will protect my candy.
So you all decide to head right up the path towards Breadtown, the path that you know, and you travel the rest of the day. And sun is going down. You can press on through the night. You can make camp. You have about another half day or so to town before you get there. But yeah, what y'all do now is up to y'all.
Well, these old bones are very tired. I suggest we make camp.
I do not tire.
Yeah, I'm pretty sleepy.
Yes, I
Dibs
believe...
on the cart.
Wha-
And I sprawl out on the cart, and I kind of like take up all the space in the cart. I spread out my arms and my legs.
Sir, you've been riding all day. Don't you think you should give up space to someone else? This is disgraceful.
Do you want to camp on the road, off the side of the road? Do you want to start a campfire? Do you want to flip the cart over and sleep underneath that? Like, how do you guys want to do this?
I definitely suggest we flip the cart with Badger
In
on
it?
top.
Oh, funny.
All right, well, go ahead.
What about you, Mr. Calvin?
I'll sleep under the cart. I don't care if it's right side up or upside down.
Well,
Okay.
if we're going to stay the night, we should make camp. Let's make a fire.
Oh, I should stay back from that. I'm very flammable.
You gonna go
Yeah, fires.
off the side of the road or something?
I think, yeah, we'll move off the side of the road a little bit, and I will make a fire.
I have matches. I probably shouldn't have these, actually.
Yeah, if you have somewhere to start the fire,
Yeah.
make a fire pretty easily.
I have a large box of matches.
We all have
So,
some matches.
It's springtime in the forest, Sam, which is fairly uneventful as far as things in the forest go. You make camp, and everything goes fine. In the middle of the night, though, you're awakened. You're woken up by the sound of a tussle, and just just zooming by the road off to the side of where you're camped are 4 or 5 ghosts. You can tell they all have that same black cloak on that you have, and they're riding fast. And behind them are this gang of raccoons, also on horses and stuff. And they're firing pistols at each other, and the ghosts are turning around and firing back, and it's really loud. Like there's no way you guys missed that. And it just this like sort of traveling fight, just like in and out of sight real fast.
Oh my!
Sort of muzzle flashes light up the night and wake y'all up.
Someone has riled up 2 factions. It appears this is not the only altercation we've witnessed like this.
I think we should stay out of this, whatever war is waged between those weird horses and raccoons.
In my day,
There are ghosts on
trash
those horses, Mr.
pandas
Badger.
and ghosts did not engage in combat.
Well,
Are you gonna let her talk about you like that?
I have not engaged in many combats. Well, except the one from the incident.
Oh, yes, we've all heard that story.
I like the idea that every time he tries to talk about the daggers in his face, someone cuts him off.
So Calvin is just cowering right now beneath the cart, curled up in a fetal position and quivering.
I'll float down and put my dagger face underneath. Mr. Calvin, are you okay? Are you all right, Mr. Calvin?
Just non-responsive.
I'll
Just
poke you.
laying there, covering his head.
Mr. Calvin, the danger has passed. You can come out from underneath there now. Come and sit by the fire. It's flammable.
Buck up,
No,
young
are they gone?
thing.
Yeah,
Are they gone?
Yes, they
Is it
went by
over?
very quickly.
Okay. I'm fine. I'm just gonna stay under here for the rest of the night. I'm okay.
Are you sure? Because
Mm-hmm. Yep. No,
someone
I'm
who hides from loud noises does not seem okay.
No, it's good.
Okay. Well, I'll get you some coffee.
What? What in the devil is going on around here?
Mr. Calvin is scared of the pistol fight.
No, not him. With the ghosts and the raccoons.
I don't know. Is this like a long-standing feud between ghosts and raccoons?
It's not something you guys know about. It's unfamiliar and strange to you.
It appears to be a new development. I'm not familiar with their quarrel.
Were they headed in the same direction we're heading?
Yep.
I am worried for the state of our bread. Maybe we should get moving.
Well, it appears to be dangerous to travel at night. There were far more pistol-wielding brigands on the road. Is that the right word for brigand?
Brigand works. Brigand, ne'er-do-well, bandit, bad guy. You know.
Well, at least the bandits are being.
That's something that y'all would. Civilized folk in the forest would not be tearing around the woods at night at all, unless they're on some chore, and they especially wouldn't be shooting guns at each other.
Yes, these are bad men, and ghosts. We should be careful. Well, I'm not opposed to traveling further, though. I don't think Mr. Calvin's going to get much more sleep.
What do you think, Mr. Calvin? Should we stay or should we go?
We should move. The sooner we get the bread, the sooner we can get back to the house.
All right, then. Here's your coffee. It's terrible.
You have no taste for coffee, so you don't know what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to taste like.
You're just boiling like walnuts and rocks and some water.
It's just brown hot water.
Brown hot water.
Badger McBadgerson, did you sleep through this whole thing, or?
Oh yeah, I didn't wake up.
Nice.
It's not like a light.
Would someone like to rouse Mr. Badgerton?
Oh, please allow me. And I'll go over and I'll kind of thump him on the head with a stick. Mr. Badger.
Ah! What?
You missed all of the excitement. We need to get moving. There's been an incident. Mr. Calvin peed himself.
I'm not doing his laundry.
Pull him apart.
Yeah, so you rouse and you continue through the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You trudge on through the night. alarmed at what you saw last night, but you see no more signs of conflict. You don't come across any horses or anything like that. The tracks sort of veer in and off the road, you notice. But you make it to Breadtown, which is sort of its colloquial name. And just as like the sun is coming up, basically. And the town is it's coming to life. People are waking up and opening up shutters, and they're hitting rugs with sticks to shake the dust out. Roosters are crowing. This town is surrounded by wheat fields and bread making fields, basically. So there's windmills and stuff. And the town is just like sort of waking up. So your arrival isn't in any way special because the town is waking up. That's when they're used to people coming to start getting bread and stuff like that.
Bonjour.
There's a guy walking around showing off his chest hair everywhere. But yeah, so it's a smaller town on the side of a hill. Like I said, surrounded by, and there's windmill. It's almost like a Thomas Kincaid painting, I guess you could describe it. But you know that to get the large bread, in the past you've always had to go to the one like large bread baker who's famous for their overly large breads. But the town, aside from their bread, they has your general amenities, stores and places to drink orange juice or alcohol and get rooms, like there's inns and stuff. Things like that. It's other than being famous for having giant loaves of bread, it's your basic forest inn town.
Do you think we should check around and see if anyone saw what happened with the ghosts and trash pandas?
So y'all know from that most towns, they have a constable, which is their like police officer or whatever, who sort of runs all that, and then the towns either have council or something like that. You can go searching for them. They're generally good sources of information if you can get it from. You can start roughing up passersby, I guess, if you get some information. However you guys want to play it.
Well, we should definitely go and inform the constable. There were brigands firing pistols in the night. That's something they'd want to know about, I assume.
Yes, and they were definitely breaking the rules by traveling the wrong direction on the road.
Oh, yes.
Bandits only travel.
Yes, I have several tickets, if we ever find them.
Citizen arrest them.
Yes, citizens arrest.
So yeah, you can go searching for the constable, probably jailhouse. What was everyone else doing? Are we all going to do that, or are you splitting up, or
Pulling the cart to the big bread building.
Calvin is very focused on his job.
Single-minded.
But Calvin wants to get back to Miss Delilah's boarding home, so
Yeah, I don't like it out here. It's too crowded.
Mm.
yeah.
Don't like rats.
Badger, are you still in the cart?
I'm in the cart. I agree that we should go check with the constable to see what's going on, because we may run into them again on our way home.
Do you want to go with them to do that, or do you want to stay with Calvin?
I want to go check with the constable.
Okay. So, Calvin, you let them go to get involved with gossip and stay focused on the chore at hand, because you like living at the boarding home and not having to pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
And you take the cart to the baker's house, and the baker is Mr. Georgian, like if you're from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and he is a rabbit animal folk, and he's famous for this giant oven at the back of the baker's thing where he makes these giant loaves of bread. And as you sort of come up to the baker's, I guess is what you'd call it, baker's place.
Bakery?
The bakery. That's the word. Yeah. Words are hard. It's terrible. He's sort of like opening the door and getting ready customers and stuff. And there's like that bakery has a lot of heat emanating from it because that oven is so big. So it's, early morning on a spring, normally people wouldn't be sweating. And this, Georgian is just sweating profusely, getting ready for the day. And he recognizes, like, oh, Calvin, my friend, you here for Miss Delilah's bread, are you?
Yes, sir. 1 loaf, please. We brought the cart.
He like sort of whistles and snaps, and just like 12.5 little rabbit animal folk kids come around the back of the bakery carrying this giant loaf of bread, and they put it on the cart for you, and they sort of disappear like little rabbit animal kids do. And,
I'm gonna start handing them little pieces of candy.
Oh, they like that for sure. They like take the candy, and then Georgian, his kids have candy because it makes them crazy, becomes like not enraged, but he's like, oh god, again, and he starts like trying to chase these kids around, and they like disappear off into town, and they're all running around. But he comes back quickly, and he hands you like an envelope, and he says, give this to Miss Delilah. This is per our agreement, and gives you that, and then kind of goes back into the bakery. While that's going on, y'all go looking for the constable, who you find where you think he would be at the jail house. And Constable, he just goes by Constable. He's a human. He's a person, and like your friend Calvin, he sort of keeps to himself. He welcomes you into his office and sits you down and is like, oh, what can I help you with? He's friendly. He's just a little aloof.
Oh, well, we on our travels on the road into town. Last night we saw some hooded figures being attacked by some raccoon folk. It was quite out of the ordinary for the road into town, and we thought we should report it.
He sort of strokes his bearded chin, and he's like, this is very concerning. We haven't heard anything, he tells you. But he says that he might send some volunteers out into the woods later to see if they can figure anything out. And he asks how Miss Delilah is doing.
Oh, she's quite well, quite well.
He just kind of like stares at you. He doesn't really know how to talk very well. He just happens to be like the tough guy, so he was elected constable.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I would suggest you send people out right away. We can't have the roads between Delilah's and here dangerous.
They committed several traffic violations within my presence. I've recorded them thusly, and he like pulls out several pieces from his diary, and he says they were traveling on the wrong side of the road. I've got several here for firing pistols, both east and westwardly.
Yes, they were breaking the bandit statute of traveling east only.
Yes,
Constable becomes a little like kind of annoyed, but he's patient and sort of like nods, takes it all in. He's taking very good notes, drawing a picture of a cat. And he's anything else.
Well, and one of these specters has gone missing. I have his cloak, should I find him, but if you are familiar, have you seen anyone wearing a cloak such as this? And I show him the cloak I'm wearing.
He recognizes. He's like, that's the cloak from one of the ghosts in the No Face Gang.
They are.
He tells you that they're like a known sort of a coterie of banditos that hang out in the Forest Hymn outside of in between the boarding home and Breadtown, and their thing is that they're all ghosts, and they have chosen to not have masks or heads on their costumes. They're just tied up at the neck, and but their cloaks float over where a head would be. And he says he hasn't heard from them in a while, and that it's strange.
Oh my, I have inadvertently repped a crew, and I take off the cloak.
Which set you repping?
And what of these raccoons? Is there a gang of raccoons in the forest that we should be watching out for?
He kind of just stares at the ghosts, just like, but he answers you like, "No, we haven't heard anything about that." Shaking his head in like sort of like in a dad way, grounded, but you're in trouble.
It seems to me the raccoons were protecting their home then in the forest, and these ghosts are the ones that are causing trouble.
Perhaps, or a territory dispute.
Ah, yes. In my day, there were many disputes over territory.
Were there?
We should definitely steer clear of the disputed areas as much as possible.
Yes, we would not want to go anywhere near any sort of adventure.
And it seems that Calvin does not do well in tense situations. We should definitely protect him from that.
I wish not to speak ill of him behind his personage, but the boy is skittish.
But he does pull the cart finally.
Oh, yes.
As you guys are having this conversation, the constable looks at Badger. And is there anything I can help you with?
I was just here to make sure that we were going to have a safe trip home, but it sounds like we're not going to.
The constable says like his jurisdiction only goes town limits, and he wishes he could help more.
Can your jurisdiction follow us home?
He doesn't have the time or resources for that. And there's a drunk guy in the lockup behind you, kind of chuck, because he knows he's going to be back there. Bothering the constable.
Badger, you seem to be quite capable of defending yourself if necessary. Do you think that you could protect us on the road?
I take out my pistol and I start spinning it my finger, and then I drop it and it fires and hits the roof.
Good.
So give me a question and answer. Pistols. Subject as for a gift, if you got it, plus your agility modifier, if you've got that.
Okay, so that's a D20, and my agility is +1, my pistol is 0.
Okay, so no additional D6, so it's just D20 plus.
Just D20. 6.
Okay, so you have dropped your pistol after playing around with it, knowing full well that you're not supposed to do it. And it drops and fires off, and the ball pistol pings around the room. It doesn't hit anybody, but it breaks this bust, this sculpture bust that was on Constable's desk. And this was a very ornate and nice bust. And he stares at you, and he's like, "You're in trouble now." And gets up, and he gets out his handcuffs. And he's like, "You're under arrest for destroying the statue of my adopted..." And
Of his adoptive who?
his mother, the person who adopted him. Because humans, they're very rarely born in the woods. They're usually historic and adopted, and ghosts and things. And his lovely dear mother, it was all he had of her. And her ashes were in that from when she passed away of old age and was cremated, and you just destroyed it. And you're going to have to spend a night in lockup, as per the new rules of Breadtown, for when you break things.
I just made up right now on the spot.
Oh, well,
I have very extensive notes about dialogue in Breadtown. I don't know what you're talking about.
well,
I'm sure we can work something out. I don't think you need to go arrest me. How about a penny?
He kind of like looks at you like one penny. You know, you can tell from that look that one penny is probably not going to do it if you were going to try to bribe him.
Sir. I'm very sorry, but
real quick before we do that, Calvin, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
You've got your bread. You've managed to send the rabbit children running all around town.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be swinging
Loading
by
on candy.
the constable office with the bread to pick these guys up so we can get back to the boarding house.
Sure. So just as you make it to the constable's office, this sort of jailhouse, you hear a pistol go off, and you hear it ping around and shatter something glass or porcelain sounding, and you hear like an audible gasp from the building, and you sort of join up as this is all happening.
So Calvin dives through the front door and tucks and rolls behind a desk for cover, and then pops up over the top with his pistol drawn. Starts.
The constable is like, "Whoa, what's this?"
What's going on? I heard gunshot. Is everybody okay?
He recognizes you, and he's like, "Your friend Badger set his pistol off and broke the statue of my dear mother, and he's gonna have to spend a night
Deer
in lockup."
mother? Like deer, like an actual deer, like a
Literally.
physical deer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your mother?
She adopted me when the stork dropped me in the woods, he says.
Adoption, of course. Okay. So you've been okay.
So the
Sure.
people, they're sort of like, animal folk and ghosts don't really get a choice. They get a basket appears, at their doorstep or drops through their chimney or something with a kid in it. And it's just sort of like, it's ours now, I guess,
I guess we're going to be parents.
There are some people in the forest, Tim, that didn't make it to, civilized forest dwellers, and they're raised by wolves and bears. And that's a whole different. But Constable, not him. He was raised very polite. His animal folk deer mother here in
Yes.
Breaktown.
His dear mother.
So I'll
That's so
stand up, put the gun away. All right.
So Constable goes to he asks you to turn around and put your hands behind your back.
No.
Wow.
I don't feel like that's necessary. I mean, if we check with the actual what happened here, it was completely an accident. He wasn't firing it. He was showing it to you, and he dropped it, and it was completely an accident. And I'm sure Badger didn't mean any harm by it whatsoever.
Give me a question and answer roll using decorum and colonel. I think you've got that one. Basically, you're trying to convince Constable that these are not the droids he's looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gotcha. So it's your
Let's clear
D20.
that pink D20 out of there.
Yeah, it's your D20, and these are like intelligence things. Unless you're trying to like square up on the constable.
No.
Okay.
So I have a
'Cause that would,
0 in
be strange.
intelligence,
Okay.
and a 1 in decorum.
Did you have one in colonel also?
I have nothing in colonel. Colonel was not an option.
Okay, so you're gonna try to politely get Badger out of trouble here, huh?
Yeah. So I just roll a d20
And a D6. Yep.
and a d6. Okay.
Oh wow.
So
Potato.
you're the years spent studying the best manuals of posture and etiquette have finally paid off, and
You're the new constable.
you not only do you convince the constable to not arrest Badger, people walking by, kind of like listening to this going on, are really like enamored with this eloquent speech you give Constable about civility and humility and accidents, and they sort of like a crowd gathers and to listen through the window and through the door that Calvin left open, and they really like what they're hearing. They like that sort of more polite approach to the justice system than their constable's like pretty harsh, like aggressive
Mm-hmm.
to it, and they start clapping and here, speech on.
Yes. See,
and they're
see,
like-
the people understand what I'm trying to tell you here.
They're like,
we need to be more understanding that people make mistakes.
yeah. So you like start to address the crowd through the open doors, and they're chanting. Like someone asks what your name is, and so they're chanting your name, and they want you to be the constable.
Yes, free badger, free badger.
They start chanting "Free Badger."
You have to say my whole name or you chant the free badger, though.
Badger, badger,
Badger,
badger, badger, badger, badger, badger.
Mushrooms.
No snakes, no snake people, unfortunately.
Yes, free him.
All right, well, it's getting a little bit too crowded in here for my taste. So back outside and grab the cart. Start
Okay.
moseying down the road.
Just leave.
Yes. Yes,
Calvin,
let's-
give me like a question answer roll using reconnoiter with your intelligence modifier.
I have a 0 intelligence and a 0. So it's just a 1 d20.
Yep. And don't forget, you guys can test your luck. Remember when you make these rolls?
Mhm.
Obviously, that would have been a waste of luck for this one. But so you, as you leave the constable office to get your cart, you noticed that there's a little rabbit animal folk kid, one of the baker's kids, milling about the cart, like kind of trying to. He's looking for more candy.
Oh, hey, little fella. What are you doing over here?
I want some
Shouldn't
more
you be at the
candy.
You want some more candy?
His eyes get like really wide, you know. Like,
I don't
eyes
know.
On a rabbit.
Your dad got a little bit upset last time I gave all you guys some candy. He doesn't seem to want you to have very much. If I give you another piece, will you keep it a secret and don't tell him where you got it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I'll take out another little piece of candy and be like, "Bud, I'll tell you a good secret. Mr. Ghost in there, full of candy."
No.
Oh no.
His eyes get really wide, like dinner plate wide, and he takes the other candy that you give him, and he like sort of puts it in his mouth. It's like a sucker, and but he's still like staring at you, just like his mind is racing with the possibilities of a person being full of candy, and he sort of like looks back towards the constable's office.
And so much candy, you
be
should.
attacked.
You know what? You should get all your brothers and sisters and share it. There's way too much candy for just one of you.
Oh no.
Oh my.
So
Then I'm gonna call back into the office. Badger, we should get out of here.
So the child rabbit goes off into the town, bread town, and is gathering up all all 18 or 19 or 20 of his siblings, and
Oh no.
gets them all together. And this is like quick because these little buggers are like super fast,
no.
and they start like
This
they're
was-
running towards
this
the
was-
constable's office.
This is less of a planned attack on the ghost and more of a I want to get 20 baby bunnies in Gigett's presence.
Oh my god, I might explode with excitement.
So the problem, though, is that they've got to get in the constable's office. There's this crowd of people who are Winston Randolph to be their new constable and possibly mayor, maybe even like county magistrate. And so now basically the whole town is turned out. There's bunnies running everywhere. There's people trying to ask Winston his stance on certain political issues, like what days they should harvest their pumpkins and how many people should help raise the new barn. And it's utter chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, Winston is getting very distracted by the crowd, kind of forgetting why he started talking in the first place, answering all questions posed to him. And it's not that he's enjoying the attention. There's just people listening to his opinions on things, and that's very exciting that anyone is listening to his stories. So every question isn't a yes or no answer. It's well, in my day, and then there's a story that goes with it. Yes, we for barn raisings we would have at least 3/4 of the town help. And it was a mandatory event, and all pumpkins were always picked on the third Friday of October, and
So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna find like anything that would work as poster board or a banner, like some sheets and some paint. And I'm gonna start making and like encouraging townsfolk to make banners that say Winston for mayor.
So you've added to the chaos. Now people are like running around to make their, front lawn political affiliation signs.
Yes.
And, Calvin, are you taking off now with the cart that you've started? What is essentially like a nonviolent riot in Breadtown?
Yeah, it is way too crowded. There's way too many quote unquote people out here.
all the children in this town are gonna try to eat me.
Yep.
So,
yeah, the
I'm
rabbit.
gonna
Totally, the rabbits are telling the other kids. And so you're leaving, Badger. What are you doing now that you're out of jail?
I'm looking to get out of here as quickly as possible before the constable changes his mind.
Right on.
Time to get home.
Do we need to smuggle you out of town in a giant loaf of bread?
That would have been tight had Winston's role to become leader of the free world had failed. But
Yeah. Yep.
Constable says that Badger, you're free to go.
Thank you, and I do apologize.
He sort of just like is staring at this pile of ashes and dust where the statue used to be on his desk, listening to this commotion outside, and the only thing he can think of is not that his career is possibly over somehow, but that the statue of his dear mother is destroyed.
Oh,
That's so sad.
his poor dear mother. God, I love
Badger
that.
learned a valuable lesson today about spinning pistols around in buildings.
Yeah,
But
practice with
did he
them
really?
unloaded first.
So I think at some point Winston's going to realize that his compatriots are leaving him, that they're following their cart out of town, and Winston doesn't actually want to be in charge of anything. He's ready to go out to pasture and not be so busy.
Probably not actually leave town, but kind of wait by the edge of town for you guys to decide if you're going to come with us back to, because I don't want to go out on the road by ourselves. So we probably just wait before actually hitting the road to see if you guys were going to come with us.
Sure. So, Badger and Calvin to the outskirts of town and wait by the road for these two jokesters to finish up their political rally. And from where you stand at the edge of town, it sounds like someone won an election. There's like a marching band going on, like streamers and stuff. And these two finally managed to sneak out of town. Just after it's like well past lunchtime. The town doesn't notice that they've left, but because they're celebrating their new, constable, the constable is back in town packing up his desk. He's got a dustpan and a little brush taking care of the mess. But yeah, so where we're at now is you two, the party is joined back up at the edge of town.
Yeah.
That was very fun. I got to do arts and crafts.
I feel like we better get out of here before the crowd realizes that I've made my departure and they make me stay.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're the new constable. You might have to live here now.
Well, I'm going to be the kind of mayor that needs to go on diplomatic visits to other places. Let's get out of here.
All right. Start
then.
pulling the cart.
Right on. Badger, you got to walk this time, unless you're going to ride on top.
No, I'm going to walk.
Okay. I just funny mental image of you carving out a covered wagon situation with the bread and getting it.
Just crawl into the bread.
Yeah.
It's so warm in there.
Yeah.
All right, so
I start telling a story about the first time I was elected mayor, 15 years ago, and
the first time.
the first time.
So the party rejoins. You make your way. It was mid-afternoon when you left, started out, and by the time the sun has come down, you've basically come to the same spot that you had camped out before.
Mm-hmm.
It's been uneventful. You haven't seen any of the No-Face gang or any raccoons, but the sun has gone down. Do you want to camp, or you on through the night back towards the boarding home, or?
Yeah, we should get this bread home quickly as we can.
Continue on. If Calvin, if you can manage it, I think we should press on.
Sure. We don't have the best luck camping here.
As duly elected mayor of Breadtown, I suggest we continue moving.
Wait, weren't you the constable?
No, I much prefer the term mayor over constable. Constable is too aggressive. We prefer the term mayor. I'm a mayoral kind of person.
The mayor got caught up in was also changed for Winston to be elected mayor. Forgetting he was already the mayor. Calvin, do you want to give me a strength question and answer roll with Coxswain if you've got it?
All right. I do not have that. Strength is 11. All right. So just for the sake of using some mechanics, I want to use a luck.
Sure. When you do luck, you can flip your coin either before or during you make your roll. You can't make it after you've taken your roll. And what it does is you take one away from your luck score, and if your coin flip is the same as your fair token and you fail that roll, you automatically succeed. If you succeed your roll, the luck doesn't do anything extra for you, but you still have to subtract it.
Okay, so then my luck is a 3, so I'll change that to a 2. So now I'll do a d20 plus 1 for my strength, and I will roll a d4 for my coin flip. And we'll say high is heads, which is what my other thing was.
Sure.
So, so that would be a success then.
Yes. Normally your d20 was 7 plus 1 for your strength. That'd be an 8, which is not a success. That would normally be a fail, but you tested your luck.
Good job.
Fortune favored you, and you managed to summon up the strength to carry this cart through the night at a pretty good pace to make it back to Delilah's boarding home just before lunch the next day.
All right.
And Delilah greets y'alls and is surprised that you're as early as you were, and asked how the trip to Breadtown was.
Mr. Winston became mayor of Breadtown.
And Delilah doesn't really give a shit.
Kind of puts his thumbs under his vest and kind of pumps himself up. Yes.
She's used to all kinds of nonsense like that. Running a boarding home in the forest him has that sort of perk. But she looked at Calvin and she's like, Calvin, did Georgian give you something for me?
Yeah, he gave this envelope here. Pull it out, hand it to her.
She opens it and looks in, and a big smile comes across her crow beak face, and she just sort of stuffs it into her apron. And she they take the bread and it gets taken to the kitchen or whatever. And she says that if anybody's feeling up to it, she has some more chores, but understands if you want to take a break for the rest of the day, since you've been traveling all night.
I think a nap is in order before more chores.
We could definitely rest for a day. I have much to write.
Can we have some of the bread now?
She gets this saw, and she's like, "Do you want a slice of bread, or would you like a sandwich, or what would you like me to do with this bread for you?"
Ooh, sandwich, please.
I would like a bread bowl of clam chowder.
So she's Yeah, and you guys got the bread back pretty fast, much faster than both Miss Delilah and myself thought you would. So she gets the saw and she cuts off this giant end of the bread and scoops out the inside and fills it with clam chowder that she has, cooking already in anticipation, and hands you this. It's huge, right? But this is your bread bowl of clam chowder. And she takes that saw, and because she's got to move up the bread a little bit to where the loaf gets a little wider, she calls her husband, Mr. Delilah, to come help her out. And so there's two crow animal folk on the side of this bread, sort of sawing it, 2 slices of bread to make this sandwich. And they make you a sandwich that's about 1.5 feet tall and 1.5 feet wide. After they've shaved bits off, and there's your sandwich.
Yay! What kind of sandwich is it?
It's
Forest ham, obviously.
Yeah, dude, it's their specialty. It's called the Forest Ham and Picnic.
Yes!
It's ham and tomatoes and an entire cabbage patch worth of lettuce. And the bread is they actually took the bread and started a bit of a fire in their oven and sort of held it over the fire and toasted it a little bit for you. And they also, while y'all were getting the bread, another group that stays at the boarding home actually brought the biggest block of cheese, which they sliced, and they put a big block of cheese. It's a good sandwich, to answer your question.
That's disgusting. Why would you eat that?
But the Black Forest ham sandwich is the best sandwich that Delilah serves.
You're eating pig. There are pig walking around talking to you. Why would you?
Oh, I'm sure that isn't.
Not anymore.
I only eat seafood.
River seafood or seafood from the main seafood?
Seafood, I'll eat meat that doesn't have a face and doesn't talk to me.
Well,
You're a pescatarian?
Before Sim, there's wild animals or domesticated wild animals, and then there's the animal people. It's not unusual to see a pig eating a ham sandwich, They learn from people, and people don't give a shit. So why would the animal folk?
Yeah. There you go.
I have to be better than those animals.
As a river ghost, I have to inform you, Mr. Calvin, that fish have faces. They're just funny.
They're just funny?
They don't walk around and talk to me. I've never met a fish and had a conversation with a fish.
Well, I've had many conversations with fish. They just don't talk back.
A hen animal folk gal who hangs out at she interrupts you. She's like, well, excuse me, you're forgetting about the river bells, and tells you about the river bells, which are these sort of they're mermaids, kind of, and they hang out in the rivers around the forest ham. The bottom half is dirty carp, river carp, and the top half look like they might have been people. The top half is people, and they're known for their excellent banjo skills, their gambling, and their propensity for robbing riverboats and people crossing bridges and stuff.
Okay, are there any clam folk?
No clam folk.
Okay.
She says that she bites into a giant sandwich because she was like, I'll have what he's having.
That's awesome.
So do we let the day pass and pick up tomorrow with our next chore? Or is there anybody doing stuffs?
Anything else?
I think
I'm going to eat my sandwich and go to sleep.
I think Winston takes a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We can take a break here if you guys want. I don't necessarily need one, but I don't know what your rules are. Your rules.
I think we power through to the
We
end.
can push through.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you have your sandwiches, your not river clam people chowder, and pass the day away napping lazily as people are forest dwellers are wont to do in the forest hymn.
Mm-hmm.
And before too long, Miss Delilah and Mr. Delilah are shouting and banging on doors and waking everybody up. We need help, we need help. Little Delilah, that's their son, it's gone missing. And we think King Bear got him. And y'all know just from like legends and in the Forest Inn that King Bear is big trouble. Because King Bear's thing is he eats people. He's bigger than a regular bear. He stands about 16 feet tall. And he has a crown on his head that's another 4 feet tall or so. But you haven't heard of King Bear being close. Most people never even see King Bear. A lot of people don't even believe King Bear is real. But Delilah and Mr. Delilah are convinced that little Delilah was taken by King Bear, and they need help.
Which direction do you think that little Delilah went?
They tell you, like, frantically, sort of telling everyone that little Delilah was playing behind the boarding house, and that little Delilah disappeared, and they're positive that King Bear came out of the woods and snatched up little Delilah whole, as King Bears want to do, and tore off back into the woods.
So I would like to, from a high floor, look out a window using my telescope.
Mm-hmm.
And try to like look around in the direction that they said that little Delilah may have gone. Obviously using my ledger that I have kept on directional of where King Bear has been sighted in the past.
Sure. Give me a question and answer roll using intelligence and ledger. That's a good one. And let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Cool. So you you peer out the fourth floor of the boarding home with go. It's comically large. You actually have to open the window to have enough room from the back of the hall where the window is to see out.
We see Winston like very slowly like pulling all the telescope legs out to set it perfectly and then adjusting the eyepiece.
So you peer through the towards the back of the boarding home into the woods and check your records that you've kept meticulously about the number of birds you normally see behind the boarding home, and you notice that there are far more birds than you normally see. There's birds that should not be accounted for. There's definitely like a tizzy of birds back there. Flocks of starlings are just like, I don't know what the word for that is, flying away erratically. But the number of birds doesn't match your record.
This is very odd. It seems that there is something riling things up in the forest. We definitely need to go and make haste and look for little Delilah in that direction.
Oh, very well. I'm going to go check with Miss and Mr. Delilah. And as I am familiar with sortilege, could I get a piece of some item that was important to little Delilah?
Yeah, they tell you they like disappear into come back, and they have this like big red ball that Delilah would play with in the lawn of the boarding. They're like, we don't know what you're going to do with this, but take it if it'll help you find our son. It's yours. Just if you do find our son, can we back?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. I will do everything in my power to help find him.
Cool. What's everyone else doing? What's the plan?
Gonna follow along, go and find them.
You're just gonna go traipsing out into the woods. There's no trail or.
Oh, you broke up there. What was that?
So are you gonna go traipsing out into the woods, or are you gonna go looking for tracks, or how do you want to play this?
Can
King
I cast
Bear,
this?
a big.
Oh, go ahead.
Cast a what?
Oh, since
You
I know
gonna say a
magic.
spell?
Can I do something to this ball to make it bounce towards the kid?
No, you don't.
Oh, that's like later get spells stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The answer is no, which
Yeah.
I don't normally say when I play games. Sucker.
Well, Mr. Badger, what's your plan?
Well, a big giant bear has to leave pretty heavy tracks, so we should be able to find where it took her.
Do we have any way to I mean, he's a large creature. I'm sure he would just disturb bushes and trees, and I mean, is anyone good at understanding the foliage in this area?
Mm-hmm. You guys can attempt to do stuff like that. Grades in those subjects. You can use those, just the list as a guide, or come up with stuff. So you wanted to see what you can find in the way of tracks and things like that. I know it sounds a little weird that you'd have to for something. People, forest dwellers they're not forest people. They're not woodsmen. It's a strange wood, so really accustomed to it. But from the boarding house, looking at the break of trees that lead to the rest of the woods, you don't see anything that or out of the ordinary.
We could always just head towards the disturbance you saw, and then call out for little Delilah. I'm sure
I'm just a little concerned about what we're going to do if we do find King Bear. I don't exactly know how to take a child from a bear.
That's a curious question. Do any of you?
The same way you take candy from a child, only larger.
You shouldn't take candy from anyone. It's their candy. Let them keep it.
Okay. We have no reason to believe that this is actually a bear. I mean, a creature that large, somebody would have noticed them traipsing around through the woods, and we would have heard a commotion. For all we know, little Delilah wandered out into the woods and got lost, and Delilah and Mr. Delilah are just overreacting out of stress because their child is missing.
That is very good logic. Let's go look for the poor child. He probably just wandered off.
Hey. All right. Well, let's move towards the disturbances you saw in the woods. We'll find them.
Okay.
So you leave the boarding home and go looking. You get to the tree line though. Like, it's full stop, dense forest, like the most stereotypical forest Tim kind of woods. It's hard to see through. It's dark in there. You don't see any large tracks or overly large bear tracks or anything like that. You don't see brush pushed aside or any of that stuff. But you know that if you... So do you want to head on in, or what you guys want to do?
What was it that we know? It broke up a second.
Oh, sorry. I think my daughter is watching YouTube in the other room. Taking all the bandwidths. So you get to the tree line, and it's very dense. You don't see anything out of the ordinary that you wouldn't normally see, but you know that you should take caution when going into the forest, and when you're not on a road. So basically, do you want to just head on in? Do you want to snoop around and look under some rocks, or what exactly are you?
I will definitely pull out my magnifying glass and start looking for clues as to the disappearance of the child.
We can see what you might find. You can use bouquet and see if you notice, wild animal marks that most people wouldn't normally. You could use reconnoiter to see if you find. Basically, that's for finding what's meant to be hidden, things like that. However, you guys want to do. You just tell me what you want to do. happen unless it's cast magic tricks. You don't.
Right.
I think it's going to end up being bouquet. I have a 0 on both, so it doesn't really matter. But I think it's going to be looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So it's just a straight D20 roll.
Ooh.
A 1.
Yep.
Woohoo!
1.
So you sort of start rooting around at that tree break, just looking for any clue.
Yeah.
And you sort of get lost in it. You stop paying attention to what's going on around you, and you sort of push forward into the woods a bit, and you're like pushing this branch out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these jokers behind you sneezes, and you're like, "What?" And you like just absentmindedly let go of the branch, and it swings back around and hits you right in your crane face, pretty hard, and you take a wound as a result.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Winston, are you all right?
Oh,
Your beak is all scuffed.
You boys are being distracting. Could you just quit messing around and come help me look for this child?
Well, all right. I'll pull out my compass, and I'll take a note of which direction it's pointing, and then I'll point myself towards where we think we should be heading, and I'll take a note, and try to. Well, let's just press in. We'll move slowly, and we'll keep track of which direction we're heading, and then we won't get lost. And my voice changed again.
All right, Forrest.
Calvin, Badger, that's what y'all want to do too?
Yeah,
Head on
sure.
in. So the rest of you sort of join when you notice, like, as you step into the woods, just everything gets quieter and just a little bit darker. The trees are super thick, and there's lots of different kinds of trees. Even on the clearest day, not a whole lot of sunlight permeates through the trees, especially in the spring. You can sort of hear like the rushing of water off somewhere in the woods. The birds though are in a tizzy, just like Winston had seen earlier, and the bird song is much more frenzied than it normally. So you want to head your compass just per se.
Yeah. We're just gonna. I think Winston, you saw some disturbances happening in the.
Yes, and it definitely was in the direction of the agitated birds.
Oh, well then, I'll attempt to navigate us that direction.
So yeah, you head in that direction towards the flocks of starlings and stuff that Winston had seen earlier. And as you travel through the woods, you can't really make a sense of what time of day it is or how you travel, but you start to hear the rushing water gets louder as you travel, and the bird song gets much louder as you travel. And after what may be traveling, you start to hear like growling and thrashing around. That sounds like very far off. But you also hear, like, every time you hear a growl, you also kind of hear like laughing and talking. It's strange.
Well, there's definitely something ahead. We pick up the pace. Let's go and investigate. I don't want this child to be harmed.
You would just keep going in the direction of the sound?
Yes. We should hurry. There's growling. There might be a danger.
I hear that poor child. I think it's being eaten.
I'm pretty sure that's a happy sound.
Is
Calvin,
it?
is that a happy sound for your people?
What? I don't hear any human. That's not a human. Is that a human?
It's
There's water. I hear that there's weird half fish people in water. We should be careful. If you hear a banjo, be very careful.
Oh, I do love banjo. I am a river ghost.
Well, yes. Let's stop this talking. Let's keep moving.
Oh, all right. I'll check my notes. It's getting dark out here. It's hard to see my ledger.
So yeah, you take off, moving at a much faster pace towards the sound, and you come to this clearing. You sort of like bumble out of the woods into this clearing, and you see this giant bear sitting at the edge of like a creek, kind of like swinging his feet and splashing. And he's huge. This is the biggest bear you've ever seen. And just like the stories you've heard, he has a very large crown. And every time his mouth opens to growl, as King Bear does, you hear his low. But you hear like the sounds of glass clinking and people talking and laughter and things like that, as he sort of just like swings his feet in the water. But King Bear doesn't notice you. He's huge and, playing in the river. So he's pretty distracted.
Is King Bear entertaining someone?
Well, every time his mouth opens, there's sounds come out that aren't a roar. What could it be?
If he's having a party, decorum says we should not crash.
That's true. We do not have an invitation.
Maybe he didn't kidnap her. Maybe they're friends. And they're having afternoon tea.
Where do we think that party's taking place? I'm going to look around.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you want to get closer?
Yeah.
Stay in the clearing? Like,
I'm going to take cover behind a fallen log.
Sure. Yeah. So you duck behind, Calvin ducks behind a log, sort of surveys the situation. Badger, what are you doing?
I'm going to go with him.
You're going to get behind the log too?
Yeah.
So
I want to see what's going on.
Calvin like sort of just walks, confidently and crouches down behind. Badger sort of like rolls like an action movie beside him and gets behind the log.
Yeah, please don't accidentally shoot the giveaway.
And so Winston and Jameson, you guys.
I would attempt to move over behind the big log and like duck behind it, but I am a very tall crane. So it basically covers from like where my legs start down. And then I've got like my head down, so like my body's showing, but my head's behind the log and my legs are behind the log because I don't actually fit.
So you're behind the log too?
Sure.
This is a super big log.
Yeah.
It's very long. It's
long
spacious.
log. It's a fallen tree.
Sure.
I'm gonna move around away from the log a little bit, and I'm gonna throw the ball out into the clearing, and then I'm gonna hurry back to the log and see what happens.
All right, give me an agility roll with funambulist if you've got it. See how if you can make this work.
All right. Well, I have a 0 in agility and a -1 in funambulist. So
Sweet. So you'll do D6, except for you subtract that from your D20.
Nice.
Awesome.
Or you can use luck.
Oh yeah, I could use luck. I've got some luck. I've got 3 luck. I'm gonna use a luck.
Luck
Sure.
before you roll.
So I'll include a D4 as my thing, and we can do the high-low again.
Works for me.
So the D4 is my coin. All right, here we go. I didn't need the luck. Oh, the luck actually failed. Does that do anything?
Nope.
If
You
the luck fails?
just subtract the luck from your luck score.
Okay.
And so you got 14.
Yeah, 14 total.
So you take the ball and you sort of like you said you wanted to run out there and roll it, or what?
I'm gonna throw it into the clearing and then rush back and get behind the log and then watch and see if the bear does anything with the ball.
So you throw the ball into the and rush back to the log, and it sort of like bounces through the clearing towards King Bear, or this bear, King Bear, and it makes that classic like ball bouncing sound. And King Bear definitely notices it as it rolls to a stop, kind of like right next to him, and he sees it and kind of looks at it, and you hear like he opens his mouth to growl at the ball, and as he makes his soft growl at the ball, you hear more voices, and he just kind of looks at the ball, and then he pops it into his mouth and swallows it. and as he's swallowing it, you can hear more of bouncing and laughter before he closes his mouth again.
Well, have you ever seen anything quite like that?
Not in all my years. We never had bears that had people inside them in my day.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think the bear ate little Delilah.
Well, we must rescue him. How do we get him out?
I'm proficient at surgery.
You want to cut open the bear?
I suppose the bear wouldn't want that.
I mean, he's the king bear. Maybe we could bargain with him.
Oh, maybe he has a task or something he'd like completed.
I don't think that's what I meant.
Oh, you want to give him something, like in return for the boy?
Yes.
For the child?
Yes, we will give him Badger, and he will give us the boy.
What? No.
Huh.
Well, I
It
don't
sounds
know.
like they're
Does he
having
seem
a
like
good
a nice
time.
bear?
I don't
take it
know.
back. I might be okay with that trade. Okay, fine.
It sounds like they're
I'm
having a
convinced.
good time in there. Do you want
Yes, trade the badger.
Okay.
All right. Well, you three approach the bear, and I will stay here and cover you.
Oh, smart.
That is very smart.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll stand up.
You'll be the trick in our
And
stuffing.
fix my vest and waistcoat. Excuse me, Mr. King Bear.
The bear sort of like looks around for a second, and like as you approach and get his attention, he starts kind of like growling, almost like a dog would. He doesn't really use his mouth to growl. He just starts growling. He like pulls his giant legs out of the river and gets up on them and stands upright, and starts approaching you.
Your Majesty, I am Winston T. Randolph III, and
Mayor, you're a mayor.
I am the mayor of Breadtown, and I would like to barter a trade with Your Highness. I believe there was a child that you have acquired in your kingdom, and I would like to barter a trade.
So give me a question and answer roll using it, decorum or colonel
Sure.
if you got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Oh, let me clear my stuff out of the way. Oh, never mind. It's fine.
Ooh,
Let's delete mine.
you should have used luck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's great. 7.
So in your most mayoral
Yeah.
tone, you approach King Bear. It's sort of almost like meeting in the and try to sort of broker a deal here. But King Bear isn't having it. He like stops in his tracks and he opens his mouth, but he doesn't growl. As he opens his mouth, and his mouth gets very wide. So a fox, like Animal Folk, with like a tall purple top hat, sort of pops out of the top and is like, I don't know what you're after, but we don't want any. You got to try something better than that. And he disappears back into King Bear's throat, who closes his mouth and sort of just kind of looks at you and goes back to the river.
Is it this animal folk here?
I kind of turn around and look back at the guys, and I'm like, there was a fox inside of that bear.
Is it this fella from the animal folk book?
Yep.
All right, I put him on screen for us.
There was a fox, and he said no.
He said no.
What do we do, sirs? What? Badger, why don't you come out here and you try to negotiate with this fox person.
Oh, do you want me to put the bear up on the thing too?
I mean, you
show off the bear.
can. You don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot that I showed you guys that one. I forgot that I told you what we were doing today.
So before I come out, I want to use my makeup set, and I want to make myself look real pretty. For
Yeah,
the bear and the fox.
sure. So, like, are you lusting after King Bear? Like, what's
Yeah.
your goal
Oh, yeah.
here?
Hardcore.
All right, so let's see how good you are at makeup. Give me this is going to be with
Sorry, you cut out.
let's do a question and answer.
Okay.
Agility to see how deftly you can apply makeup in such a sort of hurried situation.
Okay. I have a +1 in agility.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You can use chicanery on this because this is kind of like a disguised situation.
That's a 1d6.
Yeah, you could use decorum if you wanted. Mr. King Bear doesn't really seem super receptive to that, but definitely chicanery because you're basically trying to trick.
Ooh.
Oh, you should
I
use luck.
want to use luck. I have to. You have to client to say that beforehand, right?
Yeah, you have to
Yep.
do it before or during. Yeah.
So it's a
Right.
2 and a 2.
So you hurry from the back behind this. You want to seize this situation, and as you're running towards King Bear, you're applying makeup. But it's the first time you've ever put makeup. Doing this as you run, you like trip a little bit, and you get like lipstick like across your face, and you run up to to King Bear, and he like looks at you, and he reaches out and he grabs you. Give me a strength question roll, which is just D20 plus your strength modifier if you have it, to see if you can get out of the grip. If you want to, actually, this is up to you.
Out of the bear's grip, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a hug.
I'm gonna let the grip. I'm gonna let the grip go.
You're gonna let
You
it
let
go.
it happen?
I'm gonna let it go.
So he reaches
I'm gonna
out.
relax. I'm gonna relax. I'm not gonna like fight. He's very
He
relaxed.
reaches out and grabs you, and you
Hold me, Bear Daddy.
opens his mouth really wide again, and his mouth. You sort of go down. It's a strange situation for you. You drop down his throat, but it's not like meaty, grossy esophagus. It's like a chimney almost. Like it's bricks, and you plop down in the middle of what looks like a party almost. It looks like the inside almost of like this, the same as the boarding home you live in. There's tables and chairs. There's
What's
a bar
going on?
serving drinks, and there's people playing cards, and there's a fire going, and it's strange. It looks much bigger, good based on the size of King Bear, but you see the little crow boy Delilah that you recognize from living at the boarding home. And he's playing ball with a few other kids in the corner of King Bear's stomach.
Okay. Are there any other people in here?
Oh yeah,
You said they're playing cards.
yeah. There's all kinds. There's probably like 8 or 9 people in there, relaxing, playing cards, hanging out.
Okay. Are there any exits that I can notice from here?
No, it's probably not going to go the way you think it's going to go. That always comes up when I run this one. Can I get pooped out? Like, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you cannot get pooped out.
It's not gonna go the way you think.
All right. Well, hello everyone. I'm Badger Badgerton of the Hampshire
Everyone, they
Badgerton.
cheer. They're like, yeah.
Did you all get eaten by the bear too?
They kind of look around, and some of them kind of tell you, oh, I heard this was cool, and decided to come see what was it about. Some people tell you that the King Bear just snatched them up. But that fox that had popped out before is with the purple top. He sort of approaches you, and he's like, hey, I'm Vanderhayden, and I'm kind of in charge here. Welcome to the party. Have a seat. It's a good time. Hang out.
Okay. How would I get back to my friends if I wanted to perhaps leave the party?
You just gotta come out the way you came in, if King Bear lets you.
Oh, what do you have to do to convince him to let you out?
He does. This guy, the Vanderhayden. No, he's never tried to leave. He likes it, but you do know that he has gone out of his head because you saw him do it earlier to tell Winston that they didn't want whatever he was selling.
Yeah. Okay. How wide is the throat? Like the brick? Like could I kind of like climb back up if I wanted to try?
With a good strength or agility and funambulist question and answer roll. Yeah, you could probably make that work. It's wide enough for you to attempt.
I want to try an agility to try and climb back out.
Go for it. Remember to throw some funambulism on.
I do not have that.
Okay.
I will try a d20. Boop. I have a +1 that makes it a 10.
Ooh.
Okay. So you kind of look at Vanderhayden and he's to you, and you go back towards the other corner where this chimney was, and you start to shimmy up. And as you shimmy to the top, King Bear just kind of opens his.
Yep. And so once I get back to the top and I'm ready to climb out, I want to say, "Hey, everyone, come down here! It's a party!" And then I go back down.
Sure. As you go back down, King Bear kind of like closes his mouth and goes back to like playing in the river, splashing.
It'd be rude to turn down an invitation to a party.
I mean, that's not... Our purpose wasn't to join the party. Our purpose was to save the child.
That was before we were invited to a party.
I don't really want to go inside the bear.
Well, decorum dictates that when you're invited to a party, you oblige.
That is true. It would be rude of me to turn down an invitation to a party. All right. Your Majesty Bear? Sir Bear?
He kind of like...
King Bear, sir?
Looks back at you and is just like, lets out that growl again.
I was invited to the party.
He just kind of like looks at you and shakes his head.
Eat me.
He almost like chuckles and he's like goes back to playing. He like as he like turns back to the river, like he puts his hand in and it comes out with like a handful of fish and just like and eats it.
Mr. King Bear, sir.
He like growls at you too. Questionably, like what? Like what?
May I enter your domicile?
He kind of like cocks his head at you, and is like,
No. I was invited by someone within. I don't know how much sway they have over your kingdom. Does it require are there taxes in your belly? Do I have to pay to enter?
Why, I have never been treated so rudely in my entire life.
Really? He's not that rude. I mean, you must have led a very fortunate life, Mr. Winston.
How are we going to get the child out?
Oh, that's a good call. Well,
Bear, give me the child.
Uh-oh.
As you say that again, from inside King Bear, Badger, you can hear them talking to King Bear, and you hear Winston say, "Give us the child," and Delilah hears that, little Delilah, and he crawls, crawls up the chimney, scurries like a little kid does, and it comes out the top, and he's just like, he looks at you, Winston's like, "I don't wanna. I like it here better."
Your mother is quite worried about you, child.
Yeah, but she makes me do chores, and I'm tired of her. I want to go back. This is way better. I'm gonna stay with King Bear. I live in King Bear now. I'm not going back.
But your mother, she's worried about you, child.
As you tell the kid this. You hear the people, King Bear, start to chant like "One of us."
This is ridiculous.
You
Where
can
is
try to
where is
try to
Badger?
convince him. Badger, Badger's in the tummy. You can hear her, Badger, asking where you're at.
Badger?
Calvin, what are you up to during all this? Winston's arguing with a child standing inside a bear's mouth. Jameson is offended that he's been granted entrance to the party. Badger is having a good time inside a bear. What are you doing?
It's a party.
I mean, I feel like if Winston is the mayor of Breadtown, he should go on a diplomatic mission to ally himself and maybe become the mayor of Beartown. And add that to your fancy list of titles.
I failed at that role.
we need some signs to put in the yards in the Beartown.
Oh, I love arts and crafts.
So you're suggesting that we start a campaign to get the child to come out by me taking control of the Bear's Belly Kingdom?
Well, if the fox that popped out seemed to be the spokesman for the people of Bear Belly Grotto, or whatever you want to call this place. So maybe you have a conversation with him and see if we can't strike an agreement, something mutually beneficial. Maybe you apply some bread to the fine folks of the Bear Belly.
You are quite smart, Calvin.
And if that doesn't work, I'll shoot him.
Good people of Bear Belly Grotto. I am Winston T. Randolph III, and I would like to help make your lives better. Tell me, what do you wish for?
The fox, Vanderhayden, hears you talking about this, and he like sort of comes up the chimney too, and pushes little Delilah aside, like back down. And he's like, Vanderhayden tells you that he's sort of been in charge around the King Bear's stomach for a while, and he doesn't feel like he wants to give that up so easily. And that's what he tells you.
No, sir. I would never presume to take your position. I want to improve the lives of you and your citizens. What can we provide to you to make your lives better?
Someone from inside the stomach hears you, and you kind of hear like a muffled, like, we could use some more comfortable chairs. You know, could you get us chairs if we got rid of the fox?
Absolutely, we could provide you with the most comfortable of chairs.
Chairs in bears. Chairs in bears. Sorry. Start to chant.
The people inside of King Bear's stomach are really prone to chant, and they start echoing that bears in chairs a little bit. And Vanderhayden the fox like disappears back in there, and you hear like a bit of a commotion, and they stop chanting, and he comes back up. And and he tells you though the same thing, that he doesn't plan on vacating this position so easily.
Don't stifle the people. Give them what they want. What else do you need? Overthrow the tyrant of the fox. People of Bear Stomach Grotto.
Wait a minute. Who's going to take over if you can only legally township at a time?
Look, Calvin, this is not what we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, there's gotta be like an annulment thing right there, right?
We'll worry.
Can you
We'll
be the mayor of Bear?
I will be the mayor of Beartown if it's the last thing I do.
Nice. So how do you want to wrest political control? Bear's stomach. That seems to be the aim here.
Obviously, the symbol of power is the top hat, right? So whoever wears the hat maintains control over the bear. So we need to get that hat from the fox.
It's Badger. Did Tyler fall asleep?
No.
Yeah, I did.
I got texted by work.
You look like you fell asleep.
Yeah, it looked like you were asleep.
Your arms
no.
went limp, and I was like, did he
Um,
fall asleep?
No, I should find out.
Badger, get the hat.
Okay, I'll run and I'll tackle the fox and grab the hat.
Just push him out of the bear's mouth.
Oh yeah, he's up top. Okay, I'll climb up top and I'll push him out.
Give me a strength challenge roll. To see.
This is very important. Use your luck.
Look.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will use my luck. I have lots of the luck. I'll use There we go. 1d20. And so I roll a d6 for luck, right?
And you can do high or low for heads and tails, or do evens odds. However, you just tell me. I mean, you could probably bullshit through this, and I'd be like, okay.
High success, low failure.
Sure.
Nope. I failed, but I rolled an 18 on the d20.
Yeah.
That's a +1, so 19.
So yeah, you hear them call out to upend the fox from King Bear's stomach. So you go rushing back up that chimney, and you definitely knock Vander Hayden out of the mouth. You like push him real hard, and he flies and lands at your feet, Winston's feet. I just pointed to you like you're sitting in front of me.
Right.
Everybody's here. Lands in front of Winston's feet, and Badger, you're sitting there at the top of the mouth, but the bear doesn't close his mouth or anything. And before you is Vander Hayden, and he sort of looks up at you like he's getting ready to run.
I snatch the hat off his head and put it on my head.
You take his hat.
Yes.
And as you take it completely by surprise. He's totally surprised that this is going on. Just like papers just fall out just everywhere. There's like scrolls and loose leaves and something. There's like a pecan pie recipe. Just like falls out. Just like lots of just odds and ends of papers.
I love papers.
Yeah. But as this is happening, King Bear like reaches up and he grabs you, Badger, and pulls you out and sets you down. And then he like reaches into him and starts just like taking people out and setting them around.
Oh no, I believe the bear has gone rogue.
I try and climb back in.
He doesn't know. He's like pushing you aside.
No, let me back in.
And he finally takes the little Delilah out and sets Delilah down, and he gets up and starts to walk away across the river.
Oh dear, I believe we have messed it up for everybody.
And Vander Hayden is just like, I knew this would happen. Somebody would have.
Well, that's what you get for kidnapping children.
He's like, give me back my hat.
Well, why is the hat so important? Does it control the bear?
No, but it's my hat.
It's a very nice hat. I think I'll keep it.
I'm gonna go pick up Delilah and start carrying him back towards where we came from, back towards the thing. We gotta stay on mission.
Party in the bear's belly.
Stay on mission, people. We came to recover the child.
Like how Calvin's just like, stay
Sorry
on
about your
target.
party, everybody.
He's so consistent.
I'm going to start collecting the papers and transcribing them into my diary.
Sure. You notice that one of the papers, magic trick.
Ooh.
And it's you recognize it as being like sort of the procedures for pulling off a magic trick. And this magic trick is you can tell it's called haha gafa ha magic trick. And basically it's used it will make someone laugh so hard they can't really do anything. And then if you use it and it's successful and you make it so that this person, your target, can't do anything, everyone around them has to also sort of like make a question and answer roll to see if they can resist how contagious that laughter. Nice. Basically, it's like an exploding spell of laughter.
Contagious laughter.
That is incredibly strong. That is
the funny
very
farm.
strong. Very strong CC spell.
Well, I'm definitely going to take that one and jam it into my thing, and then I'm going to pass all the rest of the papers back to Mr. Fox. Well, we are very sorry. We have
He
to
pushes
go
them
now.
back. He doesn't. He's like, I don't need these anymore to hold.
Oh, well. I'll keep them. I have a diary for such things. And I'll jam them all in my diary. Apologies, Mr. Fox. And I'll start floating on after Calvin and the rest.
Badger, are you going with him too, or are you running after Bear?
I'm running after the bear.
No.
I gotta get back in.
So you run
Got
after.
a taste for it.
He King Bear is not having it though. He turns around and he looks pretty menacingly at you, and he gives you that. He squares up almost and points towards your friends.
What are you gonna do? Eat me?
He's just like, "Rrr," and
I want to run up to him and hug his leg.
all right. So you do that. You run up and you hug his leg, and he lifts his leg up a little bit. And he starts to shake it. He shakes it pretty hard.
Please, Mr. Bear. Please.
Let me inside you.
Why is
I'll be good, I promise.
Oh, it's the other side. You have to. The
Yeah.
one on the left is the number.
How do I destroy that?
I can get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of that stupid fate fudge die.
DF.
Yeah, fudge die are stupid. I agree.
Oh, that's what DF is?
Yeah.
I could just roll that for luck. Plus or minus.
So he shakes with such force that you fly off, and you land back in the clearing where everyone that had been in there is sort of confused and lost, and they're not sure what they want to do in life anymore because just like you, they had a taste for the good life in King Bear's Summit. But you also take a wound from your hard landing. So.
Oh dear.
There's a spot on my sheet.
Yeah. So everyone else, are we heading back to the boarding home? Or?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you go back the way you came, and you go through the woods. You following your own trail where you were just stomping through the woods, and as you get back to the rear of the boarding home, you hear shouting and shooting and some sort of ruckus coming on from the other side. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh my. I believe it may be the headless gang or those trash pandas attacking.
Well, we should go and I hurry along. I want to protect people.
So
I'm behind a tree and cover little Delilah. Just be like, you need to stay here.
he looks at you yeah, I can, but I'm not gonna.
All right.
But he stays there, and so you deposit Delilah on the tree. Jameson, you go running around the boarding home to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What's everyone else doing?
I follow.
Okay, Badger.
Yeah. I guess I'm very depressed, but I'm gonna go back.
So these two, Winston and Jameson, go running, and you sort of kick at the dust and follow them. All right, good. You ever watch Kids in the Hall?
Yeah.
The two dudes, the sad sack dudes, who are they wear business suits and they're just always nobody likes us for their entire skits. That's what I imagine you're doing. Calvin, are you going to follow them after you deposit Delilah? Or are you gonna...
No, there's a big fight going on, so I'm gonna have Delilah right now in this.
You
While
cut
we're
out.
Say it again.
Cover here.
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh, no, there's a big fight going on there, and I recognize the sounds of combat. So I'm gonna have Delilah help me with the little project right now while we're crouched down into cover for a minute.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna use my ingenuity and I'm gonna take my small bow and quiver, and I'm gonna take my flask of oil and my lock and key and make a grenade arrow,
Okay.
flammable grenade arrow. And I'm gonna give Delilah my toy pop gun and say, "All right, here's the plan. You're gonna stay here, and you're gonna cover our backs, and it's very important."
Okay,
I'm gonna
mister.
I'm gonna go around the side, and I'm gonna try to flush them out. And if you see any hostiles coming around the east wing of the building, I need you to fire on them and suppress them.
Delilah, like, he's found his calling, like, little the crow, like, stands up, does that to you.
And I'm gonna give him my whistle and be like, "If you run low on ammo and you need help, blow this whistle."
He's like, "You got it, mister, thanks. This is way better than living in a bear's stomach."
But is it really?
Aw.
Badger's over there having an existential crisis.
I had
Alright,
everything
so I'm
I
gonna-
ever wanted.
I'm gonna take my new grenade arrow and stay low, try to stay under cover, and just run around the outside of the building and see where all the fighting's coming from.
Okay, so you make your way. The Badger, Winston, and Jameson sort of go around like a normal person might, and with a bit of rapidity. And Calvin is like ducking behind trees and hiding, and like spy movie hiding behind stuff around the boarding home, so to remain unseen. And as the four of you sort of make your way around, you see that the No Face gang is out on the road, and
I was
they're
correct.
taking shots at some raccoons that are on the other side of the road. And they're all shouting at each other. It's kind of hard to see what's going on, and firing pistols off. But Miss Delilah is in the middle of the road, sort of trying to get them to stop. You can hear her like shouting, like, "Calm down. This is not a neighborhood, but it kind of is. And quit fighting on the road in front of my boarding home, etc." It seems like she's trying to keep the peace, and it's not going so well.
Oh, this seems like a job for the mayor of Breadtown.
I want to run to the main road and put marbles all over to make
That's
the
awesome.
ghost slip to
So
protect
do you-
the raccoons.
Do you want to do this without being seen by the raccoons, or do you want, like, are you posturing? or-
Well, I don't mind the raccoons seeing. I want to. Are they chasing the ghost again?
Well, they're not really chasing. They're sort of like standing there, like it looks like a fight might go down.
Yeah, I want
I see.
to protect the raccoons because according to what we talked to, or what they said before, it seems like the ghosts are trying to get on the territory of the raccoon. So I want to protect the raccoon.
Sure. So you basically, since you're not trying to, you saunter up to the raccoons, and they don't really pay you much attention because their rivals are across the street a bit, or down the road a bit. I mean, and they're yelling and stuff, and you create a hazard in the road by spilling your marble. Sure. Okay. And so now you're over there with the raccoons. What else is going on?
You've taken sides.
Yep.
So the are they fighting with pistols, or are they just
They're taking shots at each other. No one's really hit. Just balls like whizzing through the air. They're shouting back and forth like, "No, this is our road. No, we're our road now." It seems like your predictions from earlier are correct, and there's some sort of turf dispute. But it hasn't really come to, like, they have tension is rising.
and did I hear Winston saying that they were trying to stop them as the mayor of Breadtown?
Yes.
Did that,
Yes.
did that
Yeah,
work,
so-
or did you go out there and do that yet?
Yeah.
I-
How do you want to play that?
I will stride out into the street, next to Delilah, and make a declaration. Gentlemen, I am the mayor of Breadtown, Winston T. Randolph III, and this squabbling over territory will get you nowhere but dead. Trust an old wise crane. We must come to an agreement and disperse from this area before anyone gets hurt.
Delilah sort of like, defaults to backing it up, and she's like, yeah, if somebody's hurt, someone's gonna owe me some money. This is my stretch of road. And so now Delilah is arguing, and she's like, the mayor of Breadtown has decreed that this is, my space. And so now you have sort of like 3 factions arguing over whose stretch of road this
Awesome.
is.
Yeah.
But the it's not enough to convince them to stop. They don't really have any respect for Breadtown.
Well, what if we divvy it up? The ghosts can take the westerly side of the road, and the raccoons can take the easterly side of the road. And then everyone will just stay out of the front of Miss Delilah's.
Miss Delilah is like, I can agree with that. A strange ghost. He has a plan. And the fever sort of dies down a bit, and you have ears. They want to hear what you were saying. They're like, as long as we don't have to go to Breadtown, what are you saying? What are you proposing?
Well, you can tell there's my voice is all over the place now. There are different directions. The bandits obviously can only travel east, and ghosts, you take the west side of the road. So bandits, you get the east side. Ghosts get the west side of the road, and everyone just steer clear of Miss Delilah's place, and then everyone will be happy.
Everyone kind of like huddles up on their side, and Miss Delilah is just she's like, I don't think this is gonna work. And Badger, from being near the raccoons, you probably would just get invited to their huddle, and you hear them saying like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do that. And then when the No Face gang is looking, we'll get them. Sounds like, from what you can hear, Badger, they're up to no good, even when they're supposed to be doing good. And,
I'll go ahead and turn to my friends and put my excuse me.
I'm gonna go check
Where
with
they
the
can't
ghosts.
see, I'll put a thumbs down and shake my head like they're not going for it.
I'm gonna go check in on the ghosts and see what if they're gonna stick to it.
And so you like go up to the ghost and you hear, we shouldn't go for this, which it's a strange thing because none of them have faces. It just sounds like one voice all talking at itself. But they're talking about how this doesn't seem like a great deal, and they think that the raccoons won't honor it, and that they should take them out here and now.
Well, I definitely don't think that now this is not the place for sure. You shouldn't be fighting in front of Mrs. Delilah's. She takes care of everybody here. It's very rude, actually. And definitely no gunfighting in the road. That's a citation for sure.
One of the ghosts looks at you and is just like, who died and made Breadtown? Who are you?
Oh, forgive me. I am Jameson Rivergy, and I am good friends with the mayor of Breadtown, actually. I'm not the mayor, but no, there's a way things are done. Decorum dictates that we do not gunfight on the road. We travel on the appropriate side, and that we share the road with our fellows. So there's really nothing to be done here. Just stay your weapons and share the road.
The ghosts are not having it, and so the way this works, and when fighting gets it going in the forest, Tim, whether it's you fighting someone or other people fighting each other, there's sort of like we zoom into it, and the landscape gets divided into areas, basically. Areas are just specific spots, sort of like if you imagine a map, there's different spots. Like one area would be this stretch of like road where the ghosts are standing, and it's the areas in the forest, and they're not always the same size. So like the ghosts occupy one area, which is maybe 4 or 5 yards of road, and the area where the raccoon gang is standing is another area in 4 or 5 yards of road. And so inside of those areas, you can basically to someone in that area without having to move, which is its own action. Some other areas is like on the side of the road would be one area, woods, and on the other side of the road, closer to the boarding house, that side of the road, that sort of walk from the boarding home to the road would be another area. It seems like these ghosts are going to fight these raccoons, and you can join the battle. You can watch the battle. What do you guys?
Well, I'm going to try to get Miss Delilah out of the way. She should not be involved in this fight, and I don't want her to get harmed. So I'm going to stand with Miss Delilah and help to protect the inn.
Okay. Just making them.
I'm gonna head back to the house to protect the house in case the fight comes over here, but I'm just gonna let them duke it out. We shouldn't get any further involved.
Jameson?
Do I think I can pull off that magic trick?
So it's a spring spell. You're in luck, and which means it's much easier to cast. You got to pick someone to cast it on, and I'm probably not going to do any saving rolls for every ghost and raccoon. I'll probably just do something general for them. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, Calvin, how about you?
All right. So it looks like this is about to escalate into just a full-on battle here. So Calvin I'm going to wait for a tactically advantageous situation to arise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna keep under cover until the two sides kind of group up a little more.
Okay.
And then I'm planning on firing a flaming flask of oil arrow into the group.
Business as usual.
All right.
So the way that combat is resolved is you have fast and slow turns, and I kind of wanted to see what you guys wanted to do before we started to resolve all this. Fast turns go first. This is like the initiative system. Fast turns go first, and then slow turns go second. So, Badger, you said you wanted to run back to the right?
Yeah.
That's a move action. You can do it fast, since that's all you want to do, and just it resolves. You leave the area you're in with the raccoons and go to the area with the boarding home. Simple. Yeah. Winston, you said you wanted to stay and get Delilah, or you wanted to move Delilah. That could be a move action, or it could be a retreat action if you wanted to exit from the sort of field of battle completely. So, like, if you wanted to basically
I think it's going to be a retreat action. Try to retreat Delilah out of the area to protect her.
So the difference between a move and a retreat is if you successfully retreat, you're done with. You can't be attacked. You can't do any more attack.
Oh, okay. Okay,
right.
so it's a move action then.
Right.
Okay.
That way you could move to sort of the same area that Badger is going to go to, and the three of you could be in there.
Sounds good.
Jameson, what you're doing is casting a spell, which is its own action, and then Calvin, what you would be doing is essentially would be either nothing or waiting to go slow because it goes second to see.
Yeah, could I use a slow action and as the move portion of it, try to direct little Delilah to run up to the back of the house and get inside, and then just stay
You could.
where
I
I
mean,
am?
for that, I would call that a simple action because you would basically
Okay.
yell for
Yeah.
little Delilah to go in. And simple actions are free,
Okay.
or simple actions are things that like you can do on a slow turn,
Hmm.
along with an action that does require like rolling. Yeah, so you can do that. What you're doing, what I would do, I would go slow
Hmm.
because it gives the fast moving combatants a chance to do stuff. So you said you wanted to see if they get it to group up. Going after they do their stuff would definitely
Yeah.
help with that. And then on your turn, you could, yell and shoot or wait, whatever.
Sure.
So that's basically how this will all resolve at once. So at the top of the battle, Badger, Miss Delilah, and Winston, as their fast turns, make haste from the areas they occupy to the boarding home.
Yep.
Kurt, to do this spell, the way that it works is because it's a spring spell, a simple question and answer roll, and you want to meet or beat 10, just like a normal roll. You can use your resolve and sortilege.
Okay.
And if you get a 16 or higher, that causes the cascade of contagious laughter.
Okay. So I have a
Sort of what
minus
you're
1
aiming.
to resolve, but I am trained in sortilege, so I got a +1 to sortilege.
Look,
Use your luck.
look.
I am going to use my luck. So I'll include a d4 in this, and we'll go high-low for the thing. And then I get 1d6 for my sortilege and a d20. Yes. All right. Here we go. So, do I roll that now, or is that...
Yeah, did you want to... So, friends, that's you guys, always go first unless you're surprised on fast actions. So your fast actions go first, and then foes' fast actions go. And then when it's slow turns, friends' slow turns go first, foes' slow turns go second, and then after that, that's the end of the round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you want to target there's 5 ghosts and 5 raccoons, basically. Did you want to target just like any raccoon or any ghost? Or
So I'm going to
You pick your
shout...
side.
I'm going to shout out, "Hey there, what did the grape say when the raccoon stood on it?" And I'm going to target the one that says what. And then I'll roll and say, "Nothing. It just let out a little whine." But I rolled really bad. But I got a high roll on the thing, so the luck kicked in.
Wow.
Yeah. So you get nobody laughs, but so, like the silence, like they start laughing at you instead of with you. Is
Right.
what happens. So the one starts rolling or starts like laughing, just like ridiculously. Like the magic trick works, and just the fact that the person like the ghost standing closest to you is the one that answered. He doesn't understand why but he is laughing, and it becomes contagious. Since you didn't get a 16 or higher, which means you don't automatically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
Here, let me clear these.
Basically, I'll do D4. We'll do on heads. The ghosts fail to not laugh, and they all laugh.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same thing with the wreck. So,
Okay.
All right. So the ghosts all they're not into it. They're like, okay. I don't know why that guy's laughing. Whatever. And then can we do another? And then, but the raccoons think they are ensorcelled by this magic trick, and they start laughing too, and they cannot act.
That was my goal.
Each of you also need to make basically you need to do a question or answer roll with your resolve to see if you're caught in the magic trick.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Make everybody laugh at my dumb joke.
Oh no, I got a 4.
You burst out laughing, and so on the next
too.
round, you basically can't do any. Sort of the check again. All right. So you two are laughing. Who's next to roll?
I think Endo's the only one who hasn't rolled. Do we want to roll for him?
Yeah. You had to step away for a bio, so...
Here we go. There you go.
Hey, we all start giggling.
You all laugh.
Jameson, you also need to do this.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is a super powerful magic trick.
Oh, boy. I'm going to laugh at my own joke.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I start laughing at my own joke.
Yep.
So basically, the other ghosts not laughing are the only ones left. And real quick while we're waiting for Endo, the way that magic works in the Forced Hymn is it's meant to break the game like this. It's most spells aren't as powerful as this that could cause such like a halt and everything. But there's no, you can basically use a magic trick whenever. There's no spell levels. There's no slots. If it's the wrong season for a spell, like there's a spell summer, you cast it in the spring, it's much harder to get it to work. And that's sort of the checks and balances of magic. But other than that, you don't have to like rest up to use spells again or whatever stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm now a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Accidentally. There's another magic trick that can cancel. And I've seen that happen a few times. It's pretty cool. You get this like big pitched battle, but it's not over who's going to cause the most blood. It's like who's going to stop the crying or the laughing. So yeah, you've everyone who can act has either acted or can't. So this happens after you guys have resolved. So little Delilah actually you can't.
No,
because you're going slow. So these ghosts that are going to act fast, the 4 ghosts, they move into the area with moons. And that's sort of the end of their turn. Or it's the end of the round, actually.
So, Badger, Jameson did a spell to make everybody laugh, and we rolled for you. All of us failed, and so we're all laughing at his stupid joke spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you hear the joke? Do you need it again?
Yeah, go for it.
What did the grape say when the raccoon stood on it? Nothing. It just let out a little whine.
So we're all laughing at his horrible joke.
Yeah, myself included.
Yeah. All right, so
that's fine though.
Yeah. It's the top of round 2. Because you are all laughing contagiously, you can't do anything. But the ghosts, those 4 remaining ghosts can. And in the interest of time, basically the ghosts take the day for this. Because the raccoons are laughing, they can't really defend themselves. And they manage to stop the battle. And the No Face Gang gains control of thieving on that street.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's sort of the end of our menagerie of side quests.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
We end laughing.
Yeah.
yeah,
And a
basically,
terrible
yeah.
And how long does this spell last?
Well, if the battle kept going, it would basically be until it would be like 2 rounds of fails would just be like, okay, you're done. Or you could, you guys would have to do another save to see if you stopped this time.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, cool.
Awesome.
So the ghosts win.
The ghosts win.
Ghosts win.
But we,
No Face Gang wins, yep.
But we
And they
had
take
a
the-
good time out of it, so.
I think Jameson is going to take up his new career as a stand-up comedian and just travel around, and
Obviously.
Yeah.
they'll all be dad jokes.
You're just so good.
It's just one joke, and then he starts laughing, and then everyone else can't stop laughing, and then he's run out of town the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, awesome. Thank you
then
so
is
much.
little Delilah safe?
Yeah, Delilah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, Delilah. I guess little Delilah would probably get caught too, or run back off into the woods. But
Damn that kid.
yeah, I guess the epilogue would be that you return Delilah, and so you finish that chore for the elder Delilahs, and maybe Winston decides to leave the board to go take up his role of mayor of Breadtown, and maybe Badger goes off into the woods looking for King Bear.
I gotta
You
find the
join-
bear, man. I'm gonna convince him.
Calvin, maybe he sticks around the boarding home to help out and just stay out of trouble. Or maybe he decides to go live on the road and join the No Face gang or something.
Human
Amos King
representatives.
decides that he is a funny guy and he moves to a big town where he might make it as an entertainer.
Breadtown.
Yeah,
Breadtown.
maybe, yeah. He goes to Breadtown and tries to busk his way to financial freedom.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cecil, for running for us. This
Yeah.
game was super fun, and I love your system. This is so great.
Yeah, this
no
was,
problem.
it's
Thanks
cool.
for playing.
yeah, this was super awesome. I can't wait to get my copy and just play this game all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
we're gonna
Kurt.
have to play a
Go-
game.
Hey, Kurt, why don't you tell our listeners other places they can find us on the internet?
Sure, I can do that. So if you thanks for watching this. If you'd like to learn more about Pixel Scandal, you can go to pixelscandal.com, where you'll find links to other episodes, other side quests, other of our actual plays, and our podcast, the Pixel Scandal Nerdcast, that we do once a week. You can also find links to our social media. We're pretty active on Twitter, where you can go follow us at Pixel Scandal. And if you want to contact the show, you can do so by emailing pixelscandal@gmail.com. And I want to throw it over to Cecil. Cecil, where can people find you?
Generally at my I'm on Twitter. I'm at Sword Peddler, and that's about it these days. I've given up trying to be up. So there's not a whole lot of information on the Forest Hymn website. It's just theforesthymn.com, and you can find some other stuff that I've made at coneofnegativeenergy.com. The Forest Hymn Picnic will be out soon. We're in the tail end of production on it, and it was kickstarted, and basically we're just waiting for books. So
Awesome.
that's
Cool.
yeah. Thanks again for playing. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so much
Yeah.
for running for us.
Thanks
This is
for
great.
another game.
Yeah, we're super excited.
We'll see you back here tonight at 8 p.m. PST, Pixel Scandal time, for our Nerdcast. Tonight's topic is going to be on choosing what system to play. So come back tonight
I'm gonna
and
just advocate for Forest Hymn and Picnic.
yeah, there you go. So we'll see you back here tonight at 8 Pixel Scandal time.
All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.